Okay. Hello. You find yourselves on the evening of September 3rd, 1384. There are torches high on the walls of Arabel. There are red and orange banners with gauntleted fists hanging from the ramparts. You find yourselves developing thoughts about this. You will have to be very careful with your conclusions about yourself and the world. There is activity up on the battlements. Ada Worthware. You realize something. The proper writs must be in force. The banners are crisp orange linen, and they fit securely onto the iron pegs on the walls that were set into the stone for this purpose. You know that somewhere there is blue ink on white paper, brown folders with dogged corners, everything in its place. Synchronous bureaucrats, SLAs met, block capitals in rectangular little boxes. The signatures match, and everyone goes home to sleep in their own bed at night. Is this not what you campaigned on for years, Ada? And here it is, orderly, wonderful, soaked in blood. The two guards on the ramparts glower down at you for a moment before vanishing from sight. The banners catch the gentle wind. You must confront some of these feelings, Ada. 1. Does morality stem from power?
Should it or does it?
Does it?
No. No way. Miss me with that.
2. Did you do this?
I'm going to shove that thought out of my mind because I don't like what it implies about myself.
You transgress. 3. Have you any sense of guilt?
Yes, expressed through anger.
Any final thoughts, Ada?
I hate to see a free town fall into a military dictatorship. I don't know if there's anything I can do legally right now, but I'm going to ask to see who's been paid off.
Lissa Gastmere, you notice it first. The two soldiers up on the battlements return, carrying something long and slender. They work together and prepare to heave it off of the side of the battlements together. It has white hair, blue skin, and a noose around its neck. Ah, the priestess of Lolth that was in the markets. They toss her to display her body, but the rope has a bit too much slack. Her slender body has a sharp jolt at the bottom, her neck cannot sustain the force, and her head slips from her body. The guards cannot help but share a guffaw as this happens. They catch your eye, Gastmere, and instead of looking guilty, they project an aura of confidence. They want you to see this. The drow's head lands in a pile of brush and rock. Her body is coiled, lifeless, fertilizing the soil already. All that memorizing of prayers for nothing. You can internalize your thoughts, Gastmere, but someone somewhere is watching you from within. 1. Is this fundamentally any different from your foray into the swamp?
Yes, because this is supposed to be a civilized place. We've come in from the wilderness. This isn't supposed to happen here.
2. Are you and your companions murderers?
Yes, but we already knew that. We were hired to murder because we are murderers.
You transgress. 3. What god do you follow? Who would take you?
The gods of knowledge do not judge like that. So... yes, she pursues knowledge.
Brenner Oswick.
Hello.
It was strange having direct reports. You never thought of yourself as management, per se. Running a mercenary company was more interesting on the front end. You can be an ideas man. Write down the way you think the world should be. Make a code. It feels good to imagine that people will follow your words and be successful. Reality, unfortunately, is far messier. You over-prepared for the Oswick Company's first mission. Chultan merchants, a rare treat for the reach, needed an escort. Incense and Sauvignon, silver statuettes to distant gods. When your men came back missing limbs and their innocence, you felt responsible. You look between your companions, a fist officer, a sinning dryad, a barbarous noblewoman, a demonic spellcaster, and a cleric that has seen too much. What will you say when the best you can do is mitigate a bit of their pain? You have long forsaken Torm, but you can still feel an astral gaze burning through the back of your head. Brenner 1. What guides you?
Anger.
You transgress. Anything else?
Contempt.
2. Where are your followers? Will you not go gather them?
They're right here. Everyone in this party has already agreed to fall under the banner of the Oswick Creed.
Nothing gold. You can imagine Kamar in prison. It is far from difficult to do this. You have dreamt of this many times after you became aware of the human concept of captivity, cages, prisons. Consider a rabbit in a cage with thousands of other rabbits. Look at that rabbit. It yearns at the edge of its consciousness to have a name. There is no one to give it a name but itself. How shall it start? What does it like about itself? Velvet ears? Everfriend? High jump? Creme de terre? Soft paws? Yes, that will do. Soft paws may ask itself why today is different from every other day in captivity. Where does this little wire fence corridor lead? Why are we going somewhere new today? What was that sound? Oh God. What was that sound? Back on the Prime, where you are, a second body is being prepared to be tossed over the edge. You feel a rapid succession of emotion, Nothing Gold. Elation first, that the body being tossed is not your friend. And then a rush of guilt about the elation that you just felt. You are forced to confront this emotion. Nothing Gold 1. Do you have blood on your hands?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you
Ever since she had hands to have blood on, there it was. We come out of our mother's womb with blood on our hands, or at least humans do. So it seemed fitting.
Two. Have you no sense of guilt?
Guilt is an interesting construct, also human in origin, and oftentimes Nothing Gold finds that it weighs people down to a stop. That it makes them almost useless sometimes. Can you feel it? Yes. Should you accept it? Are the gods going to exchange your guilt for divine favor? They certainly haven't for her yet.
Feeling no guilt, you transgress. Eurosthnalian. Death was not a void. You wish it was. You found death to be a prison ship, a hulk in the harbor. The sails cannibalized long ago, a prison laundry on the masts where they used to be. 2 decks on this galleon. You on the lower deck, where it is impossible to not be a little claustrophobic. The men up top, sick and despondent, stuck here longer than you. You will never share with your companions the mechanics of this. The deck above, teeming with dead men's specters, draining onto yours. Fluids you will never identify. Smells worse than any you have ever fathomed. Yellowish biles swirling like a nebula, mixing with unspeakable browns. The texture. The strange intimacy of feeling the warmth of these fluids. Should ghosts not be cold? Could you not have left your sensory apparatus back on the Prime, buried in the swamp? You spent barely a moment here before Taldrid brought you back, but these mere seconds stretched on toward infinity. You close your eyes and take a deep breath of the cool, sweet air of northern Cormyr. Euros, 1. When the time comes, who will you stand for?
I will stand for whoever I feel is right.
Two. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
But based on earlier discussions, I am conflicted now on what is technically right.
Two. Where is Moss? Where are the whispers in your ears? Do you feel betrayed?
Not entirely betrayed, but dissatisfied.
3. If the temperature changes, will you always wear the red cloak?
If I need to wear it to keep myself warm, I will do so.
Any further thoughts to yourself?
I am conflicted on this situation. Part of me wishes I would have stayed in that ice block. But I know there is a mission that needs to be done. A part of me loves seeing these banners flying over the wall. But after talking to my companions and how they got there, maybe I'm not as proud. But do I still follow what I believe is their creed? Yes.
Taldrid Talton, you can see more than anyone else. For years, you have wandered the world with companions that rush headlong into danger. Yet again, you shepherd them out of it. Sometimes it seems you are the only one who can see what is happening around you. For it is not only at night that the stars come out, Taldrid, and you can see them during the day. It is such that you can see things within other people that they cannot see within themselves. You can perceive You have insight. We know that much. Your incandescence has allowed you to perceive everything around you. You have held your companions up to the light and seen their veins in great detail. And as such, your blinding light has managed to help you escape from being examined. But somewhere beyond the veil of the Prime, Taldred, far beyond anywhere that the Fist has dominion, you are being watched. Taldred, 1. What do you believe in?
Freedom.
Two. Is Cormier your motherland now?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Any final thoughts?
We'll say that Cormier is his motherland because he owes it to someone.
From the top of the wall, new guards glower down at all of you. The gate is open and Arabel beckons. The velocity of time is not lost on any of you. When you sleep tonight, you will have to sleep somewhere that your dreams can blossom. You consider the tossed wave and the Temple of the Radiant Heart. The evening is young, even if you are not. The actions with the party.
I will stop the group with a sweeping hand gesture at the walls. We're not going to walk anywhere in this city where somebody is not listening, so if we have something to say, we should say it now.
That was already the case.
Yeah, but it seems more poignant now, doesn't it?
Sure does.
We have this gear. What is our plan? What else do we need to complete our mission?
Information, as always.
Right. So we need to find where your friend is being held, or at least get information from them.
Yes, I suspect by the hour her usefulness is dwindling.
I agree with that. Also, the one thing that we have that is of most importance right now is the key to the portal.
But not the portal itself.
We have a key.
We have a key. I'm sure they guard the portal, but that stuff is always temporary.
The portal that the Fists were directly looking for and now know the location of.
Yeah, I mean, I
For
doubt they
some
can stop
reason
us
we're
from going
trying.
in. I'm sorry, what was your question?
She was just bringing up that they must have been using divination magic specifically to find that portal for whatever reason.
Well, they probably suspect we have the key.
Could they not use the same spell to find that key?
A lot of times... sorry, let me do an Arcana check before this so I don't out of character too much.
Yeah, in fact, I think Nothing Gold will look at Taldred because he's the one in the last session who suggested using some object of her friends to locate her.
If this divinator was casting from arcane magics, the spell would only reveal information about a legendary thing. A portal, pretty legendary. A key, a little less so. That's my guess, at least.
It's only one of the keys. Should we be concerned over the fate of the other?
I think the other group in possession of the other key, we just gotta trust they're gonna go through. We need to confer with them that when we go together.
You
Trust that they do not work with the Fists.
He is a criminal So I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a jail cell and his gear is confiscated.
Yes, that would be a concern.
So they may already have a key.
I don't mind if the Fists have a key, I just don't want to lose ours.
But we don't even know where these keys go. Do both of them go to the keep, or does only one go to the keep? They're marked differently.
Walter suggested that they both go to the keep.
Different parts of the keep, perhaps.
He didn't suggest that, but could be.
Then why is he vague on the drop location?
And if they've gone before, why do they still have keys?
Also that.
Maybe we should pay a visit to Walter Forbes to get some more details, and also figure out who sold the city out to the Fist.
My guess is on Miss Ruthenberg.
Somebody had to sign the papers. A coup like this doesn't happen overnight. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with government, but these things take months to years.
Yes, bureaucracy tends to be slow.
Not when you
Advantageously
show
slow.
up with an army.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is a hostile takeover. Even if their intentions are good, they came in with swords, not words.
I'd like to remind you, those swords were sheathed.
Oh, the threat of power is so much different than power.
Power is different from power.
Never mind, Yoros.
I think she meant the threat of force is different from force.
And I think what concerns me about this whole thing is that information that we were passed about the current goal of the Black Dawn, in conjunction with the Centaur, and perhaps with Tyranny Fang, we don't know yet, which is to restore the world supposedly to some orderly state. Is that really against the Fist protocol?
You're speaking in high levels right now. I think what the Fist are after is control.
And I'm saying the Centaur are basically going to hand them just that.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yes, but two groups both desiring control are more likely to clash than actually cooperate. Someone must yield. That is the law of such interactions.
Well, I can tell you the Fists never yield, so.
It's probably easier for the Zentarum to make the Fist dance like a marionette than face them on the field of battle.
I mean, the money is right.
I think that perhaps we should consider how much longer we even want to be in Arabelle.
I've been saying it from the beginning. As brief as we can. How many more days do we have until a giant boat appears above our head? We're not equipped to deal with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I may be the only person here who can even fly.
Yes, but is the Flaming Fist equipped to deal with it?
They're not going to fight the Flaming Fist.
So then they'll just leave.
Optimistic, aren't you?
Well, they're after you, right?
Supposedly.
I mean, I'm sure they'll have some way to find you. Yeah.
Specifically, they're after Mithril.
No, specifically they're after you. Because you negotiated that we go mine for Mithril. And if I remember correctly, we didn't go mine for Mithril.
Nope.
So, I mean, we could easily just have you walk out into the field and they'll show up and then we can deal with it. Or if
I
you're in the city,
agree.
you're probably safe.
An ambush. Great thinking.
Well, we can plan that later. What are the things we absolutely must do before we can enter the portal? We should do them, and then go through the portal.
Well, to circle back to our friends, the criminals who also have a key. If it so happens that they've been unfortunately apprehended, would would we like to entertain the thought of springing them free as well, if we are to free nothing gold's friend? In for a pound, take the whole carcass. How does that saying go?
I'm not opposed to it, but
am
we
opposed.
passed that. We passed that jail as we went through. Those walls are thick, and I'm not for. He looks down at his full plate and jingles it a bit. Not for much matters of subtlety. They presumably have an entire army here already. Just gonna point back up to the wall.
Well, perhaps we should find out just how many people they have.
We need to figure out if the prisoner is even there in the first place.
Also true. We at least have 2 stop.
Not for-
Arguably,
Yeah, not for nothing,
Safe
but
it.
he is the best safecracker in the world, so I'm sure with just a little help, we could help him spring himself.
I would bet that he just paid somebody and is walking the streets free.
well, we're sure not to find him here.
Well, he would have to pay far more than whatever the bounty is on his head.
Well, I think the first stop should probably be the bar. And
Agreed.
if he's not there, we can check the second stop, which is the prison.
That sounds a very good plan.
I'm sure I could get access to the prison. I can see if the person's there, but I'm already turning a blind eye freeing your friend. We're not freeing anybody else.
Why would you want to get to Roger in the first place?
Well, he has the second key. Isn't that of vast importance to us?
And presumably our really strong magical item that can break a phylactery is behind a really locked door. Now, I don't know about any of you. I can't break a safe.
Yes, it does rather seem that he would be useful to our mission, so, Yaros, if you are dedicated to the mission, we might need him.
There is no guarantee Roger will work with us.
I don't think that he's going to. But he probably will open that door. After that. Unless you know nobody else that can crack into a Zentarum safe. I
We
think
do-
we're stuck with him.
We do count on him betraying us, but we still need him in the meantime.
He needn't betray us if he gets whatever riches he desires from the process.
No, he wants to be the leader of the Zentarum. He wants to be the Zentarum spy master.
He's got to
But
kill
where the
Tyranny
heck-
Thang to do that.
Yes, he does.
So, bar, prison, church.
I need to find some spells.
So,
I think there are people in this town who have some old scrolls that might be useful to me.
What are you gonna barter with?
I'll figure it out.
Probably just yell at them.
Okay, so we have a plan? Are we all on the same page here?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
Seems
Nothing gold.
straightforward enough.
Yeah, she seems distracted, but she'll nod when Ada calls over to her.
Then into the belly of the beast we go, I suppose.
Before they head off, she'll, sort of behind Brenner Oswick, cast Alter Self. So she's not walking in as this dryad of interest to the Flaming Fists.
Describe your appearance.
She now looks like a human, a dark-skinned human male of average height, who looks like he might be a merchant from across the sea.
Across which sea?
The Sea of Stars, of course.
Of course.
I liked her when she was shorter.
as Yoros walks past Taldred grabs him by the shoulder and says, "You're welcome."
I'll just let out a sigh. Keep walking.
So as they're going past the wall, because Dave pointed this out in the notes and I completely missed it, is it in fact Morris's body up there?
I'm sorry. Is it whose body?
The High Priestess of Cyric?
Maris.
It is not Maris's body. No.
Thank God.
It is
Okay.
it is the priestess of Lolth that you attempted to manipulate into going to see Walter Forbes, alleging that he was in prison, and she was elated at this fact. But none
But
of
there
this.
was a second body.
There was a second body.
There
Who
was
that?
no one you recognize. You could go investigate it, I suppose, if you want to gaze at a hung body that is swaying gently in the breeze.
I think she would actually, just because hung bodies are symbols of your kind are not welcome here. So what exactly are they trying to ban?
Nothing gold, you recognize this body quickly. This is the mendicant that was harassing you and your companions in the East Rose Marketplace. He's a beggar. Now he's dead.
Fuck.
Smear takes a look as well, just kind of looming over Nothing Gold's back.
Wait, when did this guy harass us?
He was drunk outside of that. Like right outside the
Cool.
church.
Yeah.
Yeah, but drunk doing what? Yelling what?
He was asking for money.
That's a crime now?
He was also condemning us.
He might have been more than a mendicant, just saying.
You also
What do you
can't tax
think
those
their
that don't have money.
crime was? Gasmere asks Nothing Gold.
Being dirty?
Or
Well, we're terribly guilty if that is a crime. It's going to be us next. I do need a
You're-
bath.
Yours,
Come
the
on.
fist wouldn't actually hang somebody for being poor, would they?
Or no, but if they're a public indecency or a mess and they're harassing the masses and making everybody's day miserable, maybe.
You mean specifically making them miserable, as in yelling at them?
Could be. He's being disorderly.
As in, if Ada were outside, they could have dragged her off and hung her.
Hanged.
Potentially.
Fuck off, Gasmere.
The fists don't like it when you disrupt the status quo.
Yeah, but surely something like that would get you some jail time and not thrown over the battlements.
Generally, yes. Maybe the jails are full and maybe he just went over the
The
edge.
jails are full? How many people are you expecting to have been arrested?
Do you think it's appropriate if the jails are full to just hang the excess?
Yeah.
Mental acrobatics you're performing to make this seem alright are quite impressive, I must commend you on them.
I mean, sometimes you have to call the surplus population.
What did you say?
You transgress. Please continue.
Thank God.
Yoros, our least helpful member in that battle back there, would you like to say that again? Our least helpful and most suspicious member, would you like to say that again?
No.
I hope you choke on your words someday.
Nothing gold. You have a sense that your outburst is gaining the attention of the guards stationed on the wall. They're-
He takes a moment. And...
Alright.
Alright.
It's been a hard day. Let's go get a drink. Everyone?
Taldra turns to Nothing Gold. What's your name?
Out of character. Hang on.
You should probably be from Termish. If you need help with your backstory. Ada could say this.
Kale. Cael. Kale.
Perfect.
Won't a merchant traveling with 5 armed adventurers seem a little out of place?
Not
I'm
at
an
all.
art dealer. You'd be surprised how often I get accosted on the roads.
Ah, that's fair.
I am paying you quite handsomely if anybody asks.
Half my jobs are just escorting really rich people. It's true.
I'll sarcastically genuflect and say, "Shall we?"
Does Ada have a regional accent that suggests, lends some impression that she is in fact from around here?
She's not from around here.
Okay.
Her regional dialect sounds Waterdavian. But many magic users sound that way because that's like the primary school of magic. So that doesn't necessarily mean she's from there. It's merely the
It just-
influence.
Means she went to Magic Oxford.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
College
Um,
Waterdeep, baby.
I think Nothing Gold might ask anyway. Do you know of any worshippers of Mistra that are still active? Any temples?
You talking to Ada?
Yeah.
This isn't Mistra's land. You would have to go to the northwest to find Mistra's land. Or maybe the elves, I don't know.
The elves.
Mithranor was one of the 4 mythals on Faerun.
No, they're north. That might be an easy day trip. It just,
Not all elves, not the wood elves. You would have to go deep into the woods. This is the Kingswood. I am not so certain that the followers of Mistra would be here. This
what
is...
about across the sea?
Oh, no. No. North we're talking about. Across the sea where you are from, they worship more savage gods. No offense intended. The barbarian gods.
She looks over at Gastmere.
Can we continue this conversation on the way to the tavern?
By all means.
Is this your marching order?
Yeah.
Roughly.
As you pass through the gates, you notice that the guards, roughly 30 feet above you, are watching you carefully. Everyone roll perception. Give me
Is it behind me?
It is in front of you. Thank you for asking. If you roll higher than an 18, give me a hand up. The 3 of you notice something. The guard captain makes a hand signal to someone behind him.
Do we see who it is?
You cannot. It is past your vision.
Is there any movement? Like, does it seem like somebody's taking off after that?
If there is movements, you cannot perceive it, Lissa.
Taldred's next to me. I'm going to nudge Taldred, touch my nose, and grab my spellbook.
Taldred has no idea what you are trying to infer. He thinks you
Do I
have an itchy
recognize
nose.
the hand sign?
Say that again, Ian.
Do I recognize the hand sign that was produced?
It was nothing proprietary to the fist. Allow me to do it for you. Just something like that. You may have seen how many times I did it. Maybe you didn't. It all happened very fast. You arrive somewhere familiar, but it's never been more different. It's dark here. The purple banners that once dotted the streets are now orange with the emblem of the fist. You have a sense that this gate is heavily guarded. In fact, there are guards seemingly waiting for you. The actions with the party.
Looks like we have a welcoming contingency.
Yeah, trouble's afoot.
Seems like
Taldric, maybe you're good at talking.
Taldred heads to the front.
Don't you think I should talk to them?
Both of you can.
Okay. I imagine General Avery is, or Major Avery is probably curious to where we went.
It's none of his goddamn business.
Maybe start with the truth, though.
reason to lie.
As you approach Euros, you notice the insignias of these men. You are familiar with their ranks. This is a Blaze Lord. He outranks you. The other three are Monips. You notice the one to the south, facing away from you, his back to you, has two crossed axes on his right shoulder, a professional executioner. As you approach, the Blaze Lord looks across the party and says, "State your business."
Returning from mission, sir.
As you say, Monip, who are these? He produces...
My compatriots, sir. They were assigned to the mission with me. They're freelancers. Part of the contingency. They mean no harm.
Freelancers. He has a clipboard. He looks down at it and seems to be checking names. He looks up at the captain on the wall and then back down at the group. Were there not more of you?
There were 6, including myself, sir.
He looks past you. Monop, are you hiding something from me?
No, sir. Is somebody dragging behind? We did have a long day out, unfortunately, so we are weary. Some may have slowed down a tad as we got over the ridge. But I assure you, sir, there were 6, including myself.
As you say, Monop, I will need your names.
Including myself, or do you not know?
I know you. Of you, at the very least. Who's this one? Who's this one standing next to you? Don't speak for him. You. He points at you, Taldred. Identify
Really
yourself.
Don't know me.
He looks visibly annoyed, his eyebrows
So
tilt
does
inward.
Taldred.
You glower at each other. He looks aggressive, not apprehensive.
Taldred says, Taldred Talton. Try to remember it for next time, so I can speed through this shit.
He is looking down at his clipboard. Using a worn pencil, he checks something off. And you there, hiding behind him. You are...
Ada Worthware. Should be on the sheet.
Ada Worthware. One moment. He whispers something to the woman behind him. Miss Worthware, no spells while you're here in the city. Is that understood?
Excuse me?
She understands.
Thank you, Manip. You there. Open your helm.
Brenner will lift the helm up. Brenner Oswick. You can also look under the Iron Mane.
He looks down at his sheet. Interesting. And representing your company today, are you?
As always.
Can I expect any trouble out of you?
Would you? I'm a hero of the people.
Hmm.
You're the people, right?
No. We protect the people. Can you
Then we're
say
on the
that?
same page.
He nods, seemingly satisfied by that answer. And what of you two? Get up here.
Smith starts walking towards him and goes, I am Lissa Gastmere. And if you do not know that name, you best look it up. Now I am very tired and in need of a bath. So I'll be heading off.
Halt. You won't be heading off anywhere until we can verify that. One moment. He whispers over his shoulder. The moment drags on. Something is whispered back into his ear. Miss Gastmere, your business here?
My business is my own.
No, it's not. If you're coming into our city, your business is our business. I ask once more, what's your business in Arabel?
I am with them.
With them. Manip, care to speak for her?
Yes, sir. She is part of my contingency. She is a very gifted frontline fighter, so she has been serving us very well. I cannot overstate her combat prowess, and she's very much needed.
Such kind words.
He writes something down on his sheet. And you there, step out from the group. Kale, you realize he must be talking to you. Don't hide from me. Who are you? State your name and your business.
He steps out with a pleasant customer service smile and says, I am Kale Marek. I am a humble blacksmith.
You don't look the part. Kale Marek, one moment. He whispers to the fire sworn behind him.
It's an expression you do realize. I might say that I'm your humble servant in this situation, but would that really be true?
The moment drags on. They have a brief conversation. One more time. Your name?
Kale Marek.
He flips to the second page of his sheet. A blacksmith. We would know of you.
Would you? I'm not from Arabel.
Then where? Then where?
Westgate across the Sea of Stars.
Westgate across the Sea of Stars. Did you come here via ship?
Yes, through Cizeo.
He seems to consider this for a long moment. He turns around. He speaks to the firesworn behind him face to face. From up on the walls, you can hear a spell being cast. Roll Arcana. If you're a spellcaster, roll Arcana.
24.
Can I roll Arcana? Technically not a spellcaster, but I do have it proficient.
You made an excellent case for yourself. Let's see it.
21.
If you're north of 20, you know this is a divination spell.
It's 13.
If you're north of 20, no one's north of 26, right? No. Got it. If you're below 20, you just know there's a spell being cast. The Blaze Lord turns back around. I've got my eye on you. Go ahead. You may pass, but while you are here in our city, you will obey our laws. Ask this Manip if you have questions about what those laws entail. He will keep you in line, I'm sure.
Of course,
when
they're
he-
under my jurisdiction, so they won't step out of line.
He nods directly at you, Yoros. See that you do.
Of course.
They move to allow you to pass.
Well then, off shall we?
Yeah.
So walk by the guards. I will give them a salute and continue walking.
They return your terse salute. Take your moves.
Continue up to the street.
Feels like the welcome of this town is somewhat diminished.
I will admit, it is not the warmest. Normally it's a little better.
How does the census work?
They probably track the people coming in and out. They're
How?
gonna know.
They control the main office. I'm sure. And most of them maintain a list of the citizenry, plus who's come and gone.
Oh, come on. They know who they're looking for, and we're on their list.
Well, of course.
Our
So
other cities,
Arabella is no longer the last free city of Cormyr, is what we're saying.
there are
Seems
no
like
free cities. Yes. This is a police state currently. And the Fist, the gendarmerie.
If it keeps things
Yes.
in order and people safe, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
Sometimes
really,
freedom
the
isn't
lack of
always-
manners is so insulting.
Yeah, do you want us to tell those people who are hanging outside that they are safe?
Real safe.
Safe as they'll ever be.
As we're progressing here, how do the streets look? It's kind of late-ish, is it? Or early evening?
They look deserted. The last time you passed through here, Lissa Gastmere, there was a flurry of activity. There was a genie here plying his wares. He was guarded by someone. There were a number of free Arabel city guards. There was a steady movement of nobles and commoners and citizens of Arabel moving through this land. And it's late, but it's not that late. You have a sense, and I'm sure this is what you're getting at. You have a sense, Gasmere, of desolation.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. It kind of looks like everyone decided that it's actually more fun to be inside now, where the fists aren't like accosting you on the
Probably
streets.
enforced curfew.
Boy, I love feeling safe.
You stand between four banners of the Flaming Fist that sway gently in the wind. Is this your marching order? Are you heading east?
Yeah.
One moment. You arrive somewhere familiar. There is a lone guard here, a Flaming Fist courser on horseback. When she sees you, she turns and looks. Did we lose our Taldridge? Do we take a second?
Jewel dropped for a second. I'm sure she'll be back.
Oh, we lost our jewel. We lost our nothing gold.
Don't you mean Kale?
I don't mean anything.
Kale Merrick.
Merrick, yeah.
Discord crashed 1 second, says nothing gold.
You arrive somewhere familiar. The Flaming Fist courser seems to be here by herself, but she rides over confidently toward the party. She approaches quickly. She closes her eyes for a moment. Everyone, roll insight.
19.
11.
13.
15.
17.
It's waiting on Ada.
16.
The only person with 19 or over was Nothing Gold. Nothing Gold. Kale. She just received a message spell. She rides over to the party. She nods at you, Yoros. Monip.
Madam?
You can pass. Mind your business, though.
Of course. Any news?
What news do you seek?
We've been out for the day, besides the posting of the guard. Has anything else happened significantly?
Something very significant. We now hold the city. This is now an outpost of the Fist.
New conquest, eh?
You love to see it.
She nods at you, Yoros. She sneers at you, Ada, and doesn't deign to say a word. It's grand, isn't it? Go ahead.
It is. Thank you. Hope all is well. My contingency and I are heading over.
She nods. Her horse emits a slight nicker. The streets here are very quiet.
As we pass, is she watching anybody?
She's watching you.
That's what I was afraid of.
She makes no movement, but you have a sense that she is carefully tabulating your actions.
He just pleasantly smiles and moves on.
She does not return your pleasant smile. She has a practical grimace on her face. You sense that she's been in that saddle all day. As you cluster around her horse, she seems a bit anxious and says, "Move along."
We're trying, but you're in the way. You rode up to us and blocked the street.
She looks down at you. "Don't speak to me that way. Get a move on."
I assure you it's been a long day, but you're just worn out. You look like you've been sitting on the horse for a while as well. We could all use a rest.
Castamere postures at the horse, like, not super obviously, but she does in a way that horses tend to be anxious around her. So she just kind of flexes and lets out a tiny growl at the back of her throat as she walks by it.
What is your goal? Are you trying to scare or
To
intimidate?
intimidate the horse. Horses are fucking jittery as fuck, so I'm just trying to make it jump.
Roll intimidation.
That's a dirty 20.
Her horse rears up slightly. She tightens the reins and barely keeps control over it. She closes her eyes for a moment and seems to think about something very hard. She looks down at you with a measure of derision, Gastmere, and begs again, "Keep it moving. Give me some space."
Oh, forgive me, I didn't realize you had such a poor hold on your beast. And she keeps moving.
It has been a long day for everyone. Keep moving.
The lines on the cobblestones here have never seemed quite so aligned.
this dog doing?
Watching you with a stiff tail.
Oh, no longer happy.
Its owner is sitting on a crate, watching you silently. Smoke comes from the chimney on his home. He smirks, but doesn't say a word. Is this your marching order?
What do I make of him?
Roll perception.
25.
You one moment. Ada, you make him to be an informant.
I'm going to walk up to him.
You do so. He seems happy. His dog wags its tail.
Pleasant evening, is it? What's your boy's name, or girl?
He pets his dog between the ears. She's a girl. You have lots of questions, don't you? Nice night. Dog's name? He doesn't wait for you to answer. It is a nice night. Little chilly, I'd say. The dog's name? Liesel. He runs a finger down her snout. She seems pleased with the attention.
You don't seem too intimidated like the rest of the people in this town.
Why would I be? I've always admired the fist.
Oh, what do you admire about them?
I know that I won't be mugged in the streets. I know my business is no longer at any risk.
Risk from whom?
Cut purses, brigands, thieves, highwaymen. His dog wags its tail as he regales you with his imagined threats.
I assume so the dog is walking up to me wagging its tail?
It's standing between you and him.
I'm gonna put my hand down. Like an open hand, to see if the dog will come up and sniff it.
It does. It sniffs your hand curiously, but doesn't rear up or anything like that. You can feel the warmth of its breath and the little tickle of its whiskers.
So I assume you think the protection fee that the fist charges will be less than the loss of brigands and thieves.
That is exactly right. Now, that is the calculus of a mind at work. Besides, wouldn't you rather pay a bit of insurance money than worry about the spikes of losing shipments?
You know, I don't like brigands and thieves either, but what I like less is being owned by somebody with a sword.
He shakes his head. Owned. If you pay enough, you can own the man with the sword.
Oh, you think you're gonna buy out the Flaming Fist?
You don't think that's exactly what we did?
I do think that's exactly what you did.
He grins.
Well, have a good evening,
And you.
bootlicker.
Do you say that?
Under my breath.
One moment. You don't think he caught that?
From the lack of wall around his house, is it less nice than the others in this neighborhood?
Potentially. An excellent observation. You sense that amongst the nobility here in Arabel, you have landed elites, people who have lived here for thousands of years, and their families have carved out something great. You take him to be, Kale, you take him to be probably a merchant, someone who plies a trade and has found his wealth that way. We might say he's new money.
And I feel like I asked this in the previous session, but there's no plaque or anything that says what this guy's family name is.
That's correct. There is no obvious plaque suggesting his name.
Once we put a bit of distance between this person, Gasmir turns to Ada and goes, "What do you think is included in we?"
I'm sure there's a new versus old feeling in the city. The new want the old to leave. This is an old story.
Well, they certainly rolled out their carpets fast enough. Any bets on the statue?
Let's find out. His dog was certainly nice.
Cute dog.
Most dogs are.
Is this your marching order? One moment. You arrive somewhere familiar.
Predator will audibly snap his fingers as they pass the statue.
What
Are
is
you
it?
giving snaps or are you calling attention to yourself?
What's your yes? What's your intent?
As if he's disappointed it's not destroyed by now. As was the joke prior.
It is not. It depicts a mounted horseman. You understand this to be a purple dragon knight. There is a plaque on the statue, if you're in the plaque business.
Sure, yes.
Kale, you gaze at the plaque. It says, commemorating the Battle of a Score, 1372. The statue seems to be bronze. You notice that the prison guard has been replaced by a number of Flaming Fist Firesworn. They judge you warily. On the other side of the gates, protected by the iron bars, there is the distinctive garb of a warcaster.
I'll keep moving forward while he's looking at the statue.
Is this guard that's standing there look happy with their life?
It's hard to tell. There's a steel mask on her face, but simply from her eyes, you get the impression that the answer is no.
I'll walk up and give a salute.
They salute back. Gastmere, you have a sense as well that you have already had a chance to disappoint this guard. As they drop
Same one.
as they drop their salutes at you, Euros, they nod their head.
I will return a nod. Has it been a busy evening?
Aye, it has. You should see how many people we just pulled off the streets. Miscreants, rapists, criminals, beggars. The jail is teeming.
Would you say it's full?
Not full enough. There's always room for one more person to put in chains. Manip, if you see anybody breaking the law, feel free to apprehend them yourself and bring them to us.
You know I will. Order must be kept.
We serve the Flaming Fist.
As we do.
Nothing gold in Gastmere. You sense the Arabellan city guard tensing up during this conversation. She looks aggravated. She has a hand on her bastard sword, clearly not to use it, perhaps an instinctual reaction. There is smoke billowing from the main room in the jail. Did I see somebody get close to the wall there? Maybe not? Okay.
I'm probably the closest to the wall.
You can hear, just distantly over the wall, general sounds of disorder. Sounds like there's a lot of people in there.
I would like to approach the Arabellan city guard. I will conspicuously keep my hands free of anything.
I will continue to talk to the guard while you step away.
You make small talk with the guards. Ada. This guard looks at you with a measure of apprehension. She seems unsure what to make of you approaching.
I'm going to say a little bit quietly. So you're still guarding this purple dragoon?
Someone has to. This is a symbol of our honor. This is a symbol of what we stand for. It would be a fucking shame if the fists broke it apart.
I completely agree. You're doing the people's work.
They think they are.
They're just lining their pockets.
I'm pleased to see that you agree.
Even though times may be tough now, we will bring a golden age back to the city. And I'll gesture to my group.
She looks all of you over and nods.
Keep your head down out there.
Aye. Cormier forever.
Curtly nod and move on.
You transgress.
I knew it was coming.
So the flaming fists are the moral authority now?
And Casimir did the same thing.
I'm gonna transgress a lot. Let me
Yeah.
just say.
I almost walked up and said that to her just to see what the hell the proper response is supposed to be.
Across the table, think back to session 0.
That was like years ago.
I think it was only 3 days ago. The action remains with the party. The guards are starting to look suspicious that you're tarrying so long in front of the jail.
Alright then. We'll be heading off. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
You conclude your small talk with the guards. All of you have a sense that, wow, this street is very empty. Where is everybody?
In the jailhouse, apparently.
Is this your marching order?
Looks
Believe
like
so.
One moment. You arrive somewhere familiar. To your north is the tossed wave. The lights are on inside. To your southeast is Prime Materiel. The lights are on inside there as well, although you notice that the hired guard, friendly, a bit elderly, seems to have given the street to the Flaming Fist, and he now sits off the main drag to the south. There is a Flaming Fist courser looking ever confident, patrolling Rose Boulevard. There are 2 Flaming Fist Firesworn to the south, toward the aqueduct.
burn up for a drink then. Long day.
It's about to get longer.
Maybe I can get another of them charcuterie boards.
Let's not.
You're missing out.
Yoros.
Sir.
He leans in, keeping his voice low. Are you not an anomaly in the Fist as a spellcaster?
We just passed several warcasters.
Which I was not expecting.
Only they can cast spells. It serves them, not anybody else.
From which weave?
The Shadow Weave.
I don't know the technicalities, unfortunately.
How convenient.
I assure you, I don't.
Every encounter that I've had with the Shadow Weave has suggested that there is some forced corruption that has to happen before you're able to make use of it. It's not natural. Doesn't the Shadow Weave is not orderly. That's not a word that ever gets used in the same sentence.
The shadow is orderly, because the order of the light determines the order of the shadow.
Are you not unnatural yourself, Nothing Gold? Where is your tree?
What did you call me?
Should you not be close to your home tree?
He leans in at his full height and says, "You forget yourself, Lyssa Gastmere."
Please do not disrespect our Sir Blacksmith.
Yes.
We've paid good money for his service, and I do not wish to lose him. Now, if you don't mind, I would very much like a bottle of wine, and we can get one of the private rooms and discuss, shall we?
Don't forget your cheese.
They have some. I would love some.
As we're standing outside of the broken wave,
Tossed
Tossed.
wave.
house wave, is the front door open? You said the lights were on.
The lights are on. The front door is closed.
Brenner will go to it, open the door.
You open the door. You are overwhelmed with the smell of roasted duck.
You're still in business.
There's plenty of people around now. They're gonna stay in good business. Anyway, dinner. I will step inside. If Brenner does not step inside first.
Brenner will step inside first. As he opens the door, can I gather how many people are inside as a brief... I do smell duck, but do I see, obviously, flaming fist guards seated at tables, or just random people?
It looks dead empty.
Great, he'll definitely step inside.
Is anyone not stepping inside? Or am I moving the party?
I think you can move the party.
A moment. You arrive somewhere familiar. The Tossed Wave in Arabel. It's deserted here. You can see the shadow of the barman in the back.
Perhaps we take one of the side rooms this time?
Does it matter? This place is dead.
Yeah, but you never know if a crowd will come in.
Everyone's cowering in their homes. I don't think anybody comes in except for Flaming Fist. You know, that is a good idea.
Patrols do end. People get hungry.
Seems like everybody's first patrol. Maybe they'll all end at once.
Brenner will approach where the open bar is, or at least into the back, and call out for the barkeep. Michael?
You call out for the barkeep. He dusts his hands off of something and walks towards you. Oh. Surprising hello.
Nice company you keep.
Well, it's the company I have today. He seems a bit despondent. Can I get you something? You've got silver, right? Please, God,
always.
tell me you have silver. Thank you.
Brenner will place a gold on the table. Around for our company. It's the room. He'll nod towards where they had entered earlier. Free?
Yes, everything except for the rooms upstairs are free.
Thank you.
If you want to...
Where is Mr. Dale?
Ah, Roger. Wouldn't he be with... He looks around, seeming a bit put off by the question. Wouldn't he be with you? He's not here. He doesn't stay here. I think he stays in your temple, I believe. This lodging
When
is...
did he leave? He was here earlier, wasn't he?
Roll persuasion.
Hang on. as funny as I thought. It's actually a 17. With a +1.
He looks at you, Gasmir. Maybe an hour ago? I wasn't keeping time. After the Fist got here, everything's kind of running together.
But he has not been arrested and dragged through the streets, as far as you know.
Emphasis on the latter part there, as far as I know. I'm not his keeper. He spends plenty of gold here. That's the part that interests me. I wouldn't say I'm keeping tabs on him necessarily. Not the nicest guy, really. Don't tell him I said that.
Our lips
Shan't
are
be
sealed.
done. Thank you for the information, good sir.
As you wish. He retires to the back room to gather your round.
Yeah, nothing gold ducked in here to sort of judge the state of the room, but it sounds like there would not have been a fight in here, so.
Roll investigation.
Alright. 15.
A moment. This place is messy. There's peanut shells all over the floor. The greater part of a shrimp cocktail remains half eaten on the table. Whoever was here ate rather messily.
It
The
was
ogre.
it was a mess before we came in, but it does seem as though they just left, right?
That's exactly right. It seems like someone may have left abruptly.
She'll look under the table just really quickly.
What are you seeking, Nothing Gold? You see the legs of chairs. The barkeep comes back, not being able to quite track exactly where you'll be settling down. He places 6 frothy mugs of dark beer on the table. Does anyone know what the local brew is called?
Brenner was too eager to drink it to check.
For Michael Leeds.
Castmere will ask him. What is the name of the brew, sir?
Arabellan Black. You had a question, Euros?
Yes, I'm gonna ask him if he made the day's stew, as he mentioned this morning.
That's right. He informs you that there is a stew made with roasted duck and local vegetables. Should that interest you?
It absolutely does.
It's available for a pittance, and he goes to get some for you.
Wonderful. I will take a seat in the corner, and I will start to drink.
He returns quickly with your meal, setting one bowl on the table for you, Euros.
I will thank him, and I will slide him a coin.
He takes it, eager to have the business.
Once the barkeep has left the room, Brenner will definitely address Aldrich. Who's
Hold
not
on.
here?
Latro just stood up.
Yeah, hold on.
Shit, I'm back. I heard you. What's up?
Where would your friend stay? He said he stayed here. Unless barkeep is covering for him. He certainly
Seems
doesn't
that
stay with
way.
that.
Evidently, he's left about an hour ago.
Taldred thinks for a moment. Well, he might be staying here, but he could be out and about right now. He does a lot of his work at night.
Barkeep also thought he's staying at the temple. Should we not check there, just in case?
I intend to, but I doubt
yeah.
he's there. He seemed a bit nonplussed with staying there. All the nice folk around town look down on us temple dwellers. It's the only thing that stuck out in my head. Also, I don't think an ogre can get up those stairs, so I doubt they're here.
We'll be at the temple at some point. I imagine we're not going to find him in the civilized parts of town tonight.
Taldred Talton, you're...
Vanished.
Yeah.
Do
Direct
we?
your question to somebody else. Oh, Fiverr.
Yeah. Why don't we take 5?
Sounds good.
Back in a bit.
He's right. I am a bitch.
Hey,
Hello.
Hey.
why do you look so amused, Dave? I don't trust that.
I don't know. Everything's amusing right now.
We've just bullied Ian into getting a mug.
That's
Yes.
just Dave's face.
Did you guys bully Ian? Is he drinking wine out of a red Solo cup?
No, he's drinking it out of a wine bottle.
He's drinking it directly from the bottle. What a barbarian.
I said that's not very
I
like
hear
a
all
gaming
of this.
fist.
Good.
Perfect.
I hope you hear it.
It's true.
I suggest that the fist
Yeah,
would
and I'll take a
knock down
swig
his
for you
door.
too. Fuck you.
Hell
I
yeah,
feel
brother.
fucked. I feel fucked.
Better to be fucked than ducked, I guess. I don't know.
That's true.
At least you're not in the stew.
Gotta watch out for those IRL transgressions, dude. Come and bite you.
What's worse, having a transgression or setting yourself up for higher standards for future transgressions?
Look, I'm just saying that if you transgress so much and then you go to dab on somebody and your arms explode, that's on you.
I have decided that transgressions are good, and it is clearly winning.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, if
She
you
did say she sold her soul.
you speed running over here.
Haven't we all sold ourselves?
Just across the table, I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you know. If this swan explodes at any point, Brenner will be morally crushed.
Is that cheese? Weirdly?
Mike, did you get wine?
Yes.
I got coffee.
I'm so jealous.
Okay, that works too.
I finished my coffee.
It's Gouda. It's really good Gouda.
Oh, looks good. Fuck.
It looks Gouda.
+2 transgression.
Give me like 4.
Quad damage.
I do have bread as well. I'm not just like eating cheese like an animal, but although
Oh,
I
that's
do that
fine.
as well, just not in front of people.
I just ate through half a pack of white cheddar last night. Oh, I'm with you.
I took a bite out of a stick of butter last week, so.
Why? Jesus Christ.
No.
Who doesn't like butter? What are you talking about?
I love butter, but I would never take a bite out of it a stick.
Yeah,
I-
that's...
I'm deep in
I
the
agree
doesn't
with
like butter
Latro.
camp.
Doesn't like butter. You're a nut.
Yeah, and
What?
I'm like the 1% of people that don't like butter.
Transgression.
How
I like
severe.
cooking with butter, and I'll put it on like some stuff, but it's like I won't just eat butter by itself.
Yeah, like if it's cooked in butter, that's reasonable. If it's like spreading butter on bread, no.
Oh, yeah.
You don't like butter bread?
No.
Have you never been poor?
I've been very poor. I'd rather eat dry bread.
That's fair.
Wow.
Dude, like my go-to snack growing up was buttered bread with like cinnamon on it.
Yep.
I mean, I did effectively the same with peanut butter and cinnamon.
Yeah.
My sister and I ate mayonnaise on bread.
Okay, so that's not good.
Julie, you're on webcam mic or something.
Oh, am I?
Now you're good. Now
We're
you're good.
back.
I just moved the arm of the thing, so.
We're back to real jewel hours.
Yeah. So real Jewel doesn't like mayonnaise and bread, right?
Oh, I love mayonnaise. Are you fucking kidding me?
I love mayo too. I'm all about this.
Yeah, the best way to make a grilled cheese is to fry it with mayonnaise.
I do that too. I actually put it on the outside and the inside.
I've
Yes,
heard that.
exactly.
How the
It
fuck
is-
do your arteries work?
Pretty well, actually.
You're like pounding out like mayonnaise and butter.
It's just egg.
Egg
Whipped egg and vinegar.
Yeah, egg makes me phlegmy.
emulsions are fun. I love
Sounds like a
science.
personal problem.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
agree.
it is. Can't have shells.
Me and Jewel are gonna gremlin out about our eating habits over here.
Yes.
Milk gives me an upset tummy. Eggs give me phlegm.
All right, Flemish eggs. Back to Cormier.
We good? Everybody got
Yeah.
their... Okay, let's do it.
I think we left off directly at trying to address a vanished Taldred from Nothing But.
Yes, Nothing Gold was attempting to address a question to Taldred, and here we are.
Taldred Talton, this divination spell of yours that requires objects. Could you use it on the key that you gave Roger Dale?
My friends call me Tal. But yes.
I'm curious as to what magics you have that can scry so effectively.
You mean like scry?
Well, most scrying spells are pretty vague. You have to either have been to a location, or be invoking something legendary, or know a specific object that you've seen.
Well, now, is there a specific object that I've seen that Roger Dale might have on his person?
Well, let's say I certainly can't cast that spell. And that's an arcane spell. I'm just curious.
It's for the best that maybe we don't do that here.
Well, they only told Ada not to cast any spells.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
That
see
is
if that
true.
works.
Loophole.
Would you be
Well-
surprised if, say, in the side room of a vaguely seedy bar, no offense, you're looking over his shoulder to ensure the bartender isn't here,
I will admit
they wouldn't have
something.
worded it?
The fastest
Check.
way to check who's in the jail is to get arrested, so I'm not above just going for the direct option.
But if you get arrested, how are you going to communicate to us who's in the jail?
Or so how are you going to get out?
Oh, don't worry about how I'll get out.
You're a druid, right?
He's a blacksmith.
Blacksmith, yes.
Taldred shoots both of you daggers and goes, you just like turn into a fucking bird. Boom, done.
Yoros is very deep into his drink.
I used to be stronger in druidry, but yes.
I'm gonna snap my fingers and try and produce the cantrip fire.
Don't do it.
Listen.
Do it.
I've already done it.
You summon the demon weave. You cast a spell. You glower with energy. You have a funny feeling, Ada, like someone somewhere is watching you. Fire appears at your fingertips as you will it.
I will snuff it out and
Look.
say, well, magic works, but I feel like I'm being watched.
You feel
You
seen.
probably are.
Can Nothing Gold do the same? Control or summon flames.
Nothing gold. You glimmer with the power of the Seldrain. You cast a spell. You summon flame. You feel eyes upon you.
And put it out and say, yes, it seems to be independent of source.
Look,
That's
Can we
curious.
just behave? I am trying to put up a front so we don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay?
Speaking of which, they are going to ask you where Nothing Gold is, you realize.
I'm just gonna say she ran off and we picked you up as a blacksmith somewhere to repair our gear on our mission, okay?
That's
it's pretty
exactly what
straightforward.
you should do.
If they ask, look. And I'm sorry about what I said out front. I don't mean it. I don't like them being hung.
And
I'm not happy
you
about any of
hung
this.
your clothes. You hang people. You have hanged someone. Gasmir looks exasperated.
Yes, but I said things I don't mean to keep up a front because you guys were saying we're being listened to. And if I go against, say, something that's out of the ordinary of what other fists say,
And you are being truthful now, then. You do not like this situation.
I like the fists for the order they bring. As you guys told me earlier, the situation we're in now doesn't feel right to me.
I was
The
going
order
to ask
is there,
you about
yes,
that.
but the method is not correct.
You've been to other areas where the fists operate, obviously.
Yes.
So you're saying what we're seeing in Arabel is different from what you've experienced in other towns?
Yes and no. When the fists want to move into an area, they'll move into the area. Sometimes they're very bureaucratic about it, sometimes they're paid off to do it. But in all honesty, order is generally what they do want to bring. This This doesn't feel like it.
Does this feel more like tyranny?
Not tyranny.
What's the difference? I know a lot about groups of people that clad themselves in little gauntlet. They're all the same.
Yes, but sometimes the gauntlets mean well. These
I will-
gauntlets. do.
I will say one thing about the Zentarum. Nobody wearing black has ever called me an aberration.
Are you saying there's
Thought
a
you were
silver lining to it?
blacksmith.
Sorry, that was 3 people at once.
You go ahead. I honestly forgot what I said.
I said I thought you were a blacksmith.
Alright, so we are looking for Roger Dale. I think that we could make use of Roger Dale to spring my companion from jail if he could be persuaded to help us. Is there any other business we need in this town?
We can always ask the guy outside. It's kind of hard to hide a ogre, even if you're Roger Dale.
He is with a powerful mage.
Fair. No hurt asking. Seems like a nice man.
There was a person who's been posted outside the jail all day.
That was a different person as we passed, correct?
It is.
Are you suggesting we find the person who used to be posted?
Well, the one that was guarding the statue, she has been there all day, presumably by her own words. She may have seen who was brought into the jail. And she doesn't like them.
Probably not. I mean, what does your friend look like? What's their name?
Aram, but I thought that they were being held somewhere else.
It's likely that they hold them in a camp, but I wouldn't put it past them to put them in the jail, too.
They may have moved him to the jail when the whole contingency came into town. They're not just gonna leave a camp set up with prisoners and then leave. The
Do you know what he
prisoners
looks
are
like?
valuable.
My companion?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's tall, she's colorless, she has eyes like an owl.
Everybody
Sorry,
has
Can
eyes.
you draw her
Yeah,
reliably?
yes.
Oh.
I mean, she's pale, right? Brenner is actually confused with the situation. He's never heard of a colorless being.
Yes.
He nods knowing.
Her pallor is a little bit corpse-like at times, but he trails off and then looks over at Gastmere.
Yes.
This is the assumption that you take to Brenner understanding.
If you can draw her, I might be able to find her.
Okay. And he takes out a sketchbook.
Well, why you do that? I'm gonna go get more ale.
The ale is going down easy, isn't it, Euros? It's dark, malty, tastes good.
Delicious. Does anybody want soup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's delicious. I will step out of the room.
Casimir follows. It's not because I don't trust Euros, but it's because she doesn't trust Euros.
To go get a simple bowl of soup.
He might die on the way.
Michael!
You call for the bartender, and he is there for you, exchanging silvers and coppers for soup and ale as you see fit.
Another round of ale and soup.
Who's
We're going to be crawling out of here soon.
who's
It's a long day for everyone.
who is ordering soup? Who is consuming food here? Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
I will order a round of soup because I like the soup.
He's more than happy to provide it. You get the sense that you may be his only customers tonight, other than the Fist.
So I like to imagine you order 6 soups, you bring them to the table, and people start to like open their hand. He's like, "No, these are for me."
Yours loves soup.
I think Gasper will get something to eat as well. What seems to be the least offensive option?
Your options are essentially a bread, cheese, and meat board, or the soup of the day, which is a duck stew.
She'll take the bread and cheese board. That seems more sophisticated.
It's very sophisticated, and you can eat it in a sophisticated way. It soothes your sense of refinement.
Yes, good.
I will sit back into the room as nothing gold continues to draw.
As before, Brenner will place his helmet on the table and consume the soup.
As she's drawing, Alyssa Gastmere, is it odd that your family's name has little weight anymore?
Did it before?
Do
I
you-
mean, no offense, I've just never heard of them.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I've been around.
Obviously, none of you are familiar with nobility.
More
That's
familiar
fine.
than I'd like.
You have many other flaws that are much more irritating than that one.
Are you talking about how you turn into a lizard when you get mad?
Why
Yes,
would you
that
wish
is
to discuss
new.
that?
That's not a Gastmere family trait by any means.
No,
I mean,
it
that-
is not.
After watching you fight, that's the only thing I can think of. Is there something else?
It is an acquired talent.
Certainly useful.
It is useful.
Actually, you bring up a good point. I know, as he takes a big swig of the bowl without spoon. Generally speaking, where everyone's staying, why we're doing what we're doing. It's all on the table. Why are you here? I'm not saying you should leave. You'd certainly pull your own weight. Just why?
As you have noted, it seems my family name doesn't quite carry the same weight it used to. I'm going to fix that.
I
So
respect
you're
that.
gonna try and do a all guts, all glory, restore the family name, jump into a portal and save the world kind of deal?
Well, obviously.
Have
Certainly
you
been-
heard from your family in some time?
Well, it hasn't been that long, has it? I'm sure they're busy.
Everybody's busy. Just trying to survive seems kind of rough right now.
Yes, and we are on a timer.
Kale,
Ada, are
Yes.
you gonna sit down or are you just gonna stand around and be weird?
I'll do what I would like. Kale,
Yes, Ada,
it strikes me that when we communicate with your friend one way or another, that will be the last thing we do in this city.
Why?
We're not exactly going to be the most popular people in Arabel.
Oh no, we're not. So long as the fists continue to hold power, that is.
I think we should save that task for last for tonight. Or maybe tomorrow morning.
No, we cannot wait until tomorrow morning.
There's 2 bodies on ropes outside saying that's probably the case.
Yes, having heard what they already know from her, her value to them is dwindling.
I won't be able to find her till the morning.
Shit.
You think they got baths here? We probably shouldn't stay at the temple.
Why
I
the
bet-
hell not?
Stay
Yeah.
at the temple.
I'm staying at the temple.
Why?
I like my
just
room.
took it- They just took it over. They're probably taking all the rooms too.
What? That's the Radiant Hearts. There's no look.
There's
Either way, I need to
1,200
go
soldiers in the city.
I need to talk to Walter Forbes regardless.
I mean,
And
we'll go.
I'm going to see.
Okay.
Find a flaming fist in my room. I'm going to grab them by the back of their necks and throw them out the window.
Your name on it?
Moving back to the problem at hand, the diviner that was with Roger Dale might be able to find him. Her.
She didn't seem much like a talk.
Yeah, I tried to get some information out of her, but I left her speechless, unfortunately.
Well, there are other ways of communicating beyond verbal.
I will send him a message that says, yeah, like this.
Who did you send that to?
Wait, how
Kentaldred?
far can you send that?
Very far.
I
You
think
saw
that-
her earlier, did you not?
I did.
Talk to her right now. Ask her where she is.
Hold on. Before any arcane flies, this whole city's being monitored. This room specifically. Can we please relax?
My companion is in mortal danger.
We're
And
on
I am the only thing standing between her and the guillotine.
Well, to be fair, you got us.
We're all on the same team here, Kale. We're merely trying to find the way that lets our bodies remain attached to our heads. I think whatever executions were going to happen today are over.
Yeah, they generally don't execute in the night. It's
Is
not
it public?
effective.
Brenner asks, is it public usually? Do they call attention to it?
It depends on the, I guess, status of the person. But usually, yes, as you saw the public display up front.
Well, Kale, do you think you could sneak into that place in a mundane manner?
The prison?
Yeah.
Yes. I can disguise myself as one of the guards that we passed on the street.
I think I speak for everybody here in that I would require a full night's meditation and sleep before we face Tyranny Fang.
Agreed.
Long day.
Been a long day, as Yoros keeps saying.
You say that like you intend to jump through the portal tomorrow.
I do.
Sort of the point, yeah.
Why?
I guess-
We still have 3 weeks.
We don't know what the phylactery looks like.
We don't know what the phylactery is. Why not visit all the other ghosty friends of Mr. Fang?
It
So
may
you-
not even be in the keep.
Why not assemble a supergroup of ghosts?
Well, I assume that would be contingent on the intel that you collected. Beyond that, what other rock should we turn over?
Maris is
Dale?
still alive.
Maris.
She didn't actively try to kill her.
Oh, low bar.
She's not entirely as she presents herself to be.
Yeah.
The only reason I can't tell you anything more specifically than that is I don't know, but
Well, if you would have us stay for a good reason, please tell us.
she's
But-
not here.
Obviously, she's not hanging from the wall.
She's not in the tavern. She's not on the wall. Maybe she's in the prison.
And
Doubtful.
Yeah.
No.
Are we being led on a goose chase for this friend?
Oh, we're speaking about Maris right now. The
Right.
priestess that Taldred slapped.
Yeah, but you guys are all up in arms about all these different religions and stuff. Was that one of the ones you hate?
I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of any of them.
Then what's the problem?
I think Yoras were talking about getting information, and Maris has been very useful in that.
I'm not opposed to it.
Either way, if our next stop is the prison, we may find ourselves out of this town one way or the other.
So let's not make that our next stop. We still need to talk to Walter.
I agree we should make sure that Kale's friend is safe. But let's be surreptitious about it. Let's not rush in because we have a head full of steam.
Okay. Well, if we're leaving, we're going to need to take the portal with us.
Boo-boo?
Huh?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Are you planning to come back for the portal to jump through it?
Well, look, I'm the drunk one here, and even I know that's a bad idea. How do you plan to move a whole portal construct with you?
I think they plan to bomb it on the way out.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Then we'd never get into Zenthal Keep.
Well, can't we just walk there?
I wouldn't.
Let's not.
Across the table, when we were talking about the portal, it sounded like it was something on top of the table.
It is a. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it looked like a giant stone thing on the floor.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
10 by 10 foot circle embedded into
Yeah.
the floor.
How I imagined it, it was like in the corner of his office. It was an actual like platform with a construction on it. So it's kind of.
Exactly. That's exactly
which
what it
is
is.
different from the ones we encountered in Fall of Cormyr, which were more like gates on the wall.
Some of them were on the ground too.
Were they? I don't remember.
Yeah. Like when we came in up from the castle, we popped into one. Also,
Okay.
the one I believe that was in the blacksmith's house was the same deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Your memory is spectacular, Fulmari.
Hey. But I
Well,
agree.
I just
If-
want to make sure we have a plan for if things go south. Because, let's be honest, if I stay here long enough, they will go south.
Alright, so if
Probably.
it goes south, I can get one of us into the portal room at most.
Actually,
No
that's a
problem.
good question. I don't really know how these things work. Do they close behind us?
I don't know.
Yes, they're one way.
Okay, yeah, but we go through, the portal closes when?
Typically, when we walk through with the key, it'll close. And as far as it being a one-way trip, there would have to be an open portal on the other side. It depends on how the runes are laid, but I imagine this is a one-way trip either way.
I figured. I was more worried about people following us in. If we're going to go rustle the bee's nest, as it were. I don't want to be attacked on both ends.
The portal key can open, it can close it.
Okay.
That was why I was concerned about Mr. Dale's key. If the fists have it.
I know next to nothing about portals. Actually, I don't know anything about portals.
Shocking.
You know anything about anything?
Yes.
Sometimes I really doubt that.
Look, Miss Noble. I've lived out in the field, fending for myself for years. You have paid some asshole of a servant to serve you head and foot to do whatever it needs to be done. Just because I am not as well read as some of you nobles or mages or anything like that, doesn't mean I don't know a thing or two. If I wanted to jump over and stab you with this sword, I'm pretty good with it. If I wanted to read that spell book, I could try. We all have our specialties. Now, if you don't mind, shut up.
Taldrick calls out to the bartender and he says, "No more for him."
Oh, really? I think more for him. He's much more entertaining this way.
You have a lovely spine, Yoros.
That's...
What's me up?
And Brenner will leave it at that.
Look, I'm
Yoros.
trying to ask about these portals.
Yeah.
Is it an instantaneous step through, or is it a trip? Like, are we going to be walking through that portal for a time? Or are we just going to be there?
Typically, it's instantaneous transmission.
I've gone
But-
through 2 portals in my lifetime.
Tell us then.
One time, it was instantaneous.
Good.
The other time, it took 2 years.
So let me ask you this: if it has a time to walk through the portal, are you walking through the portal, or are you being pushed through the portal?
You walk into it.
So can somebody just sit in the portal and
No.
wait?
No, it was you appeared over there instantaneously.
I imagine if you straddle the barrier between arcane mysteries, you will be torn asunder.
So you have to keep moving.
I would highly suggest it.
I'm
Would
trying to learn
assume
here, so
this portal will be open for a handful of seconds, and you best get yourself on the other side during that time.
Correct.
okay. So you wouldn't have to worry about getting ambushed in the portal, just on one side or the other.
Yeah.
There's
Unless
no in
someone
the
else
portal.
has the key.
You have to go into the portal, so there's an in the portal, right?
I feel like this nuance may be lost on you, Yoros, but we have to transfer from one side to the other in a manner that indicates celerity. We have to do it quickly.
I wouldn't use words like celerity currently.
I'm not
Nerdy me.
really well read on how this works, but from what I'm gathering, it's like walking through a door. You go through the threshold, you're on the other side. There's no in between. It's not a hallway.
And I take it we can't see on the other side of the portal.
Nope.
Wonderful.
I believe we should get some rest if we are to rise very early in the morning to save our blacksmith friend.
Blacksmith's right here.
Friend.
Oh, the
Yours.
blacksmith's
Friend.
friend.
Are we giving up on Roger Dale?
I'm not. Kinda need him. I know a couple locksmiths, but they are not as good as he is, allegedly.
So,
Cannot locate him either until morning, if I understood correctly, Mr. Tolton.
hey,
Well, we can always ask around.
No, I could probably locate Roger now.
Ada, may I ask you a question?
You may.
Is there not a spell that can just pick a lock?
There is. I would have to have the scroll for it.
Do you not know how to do it? Or does your spellbook not have the instructions written out?
It's the second one. My spellbook does not have the instructions written out.
You said you were looking for more. Wait. Who would you
Yes.
ask?
Well, I was going to look around in the temple, and if not, I was going to find another magic user in the city and ask them. Maybe in the Prime Material. Maybe the genie. I would ask around. It's pretty important.
Alright. Well, as much as you're more than welcome for a bath, Miss Gasme, I think we have other matters to tend to. As at this point, Brenner is finishing up the soup and ale.
As for the location of Roger Dale, I think it was suggested that Yoros could message one or the other, him or his companion.
The message, from what I understand, is about 100-ish feet.
I think it's 300. It's got like crazy range on it for some reason.
It's 320, I believe, but, you know, Yoros, you could always just try and fail, and that would give us
So-
some more information.
Yeah, so across the table, Yoros thinks it's only about 100, but in the rule books, it says 120 feet.
Okay.
Because the furthest he's ever sent it was maybe roughly 100, so that's what he thinks is the max.
Do you think it's a good idea to message Roger or his compatriots while drunk?
I think that's the best time to message them, actually.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Ada, can you not message?
Look,
It's
before
pretty
we
easy.
go talking to Roger, let me see if he's anywhere nearby. And Talger is going to cast Locate Object for the portal key that he gave to Roger.
Brenner gave to Roger.
Sure.
It was the bronze one, right?
Yes, for the bronze one.
Let me know when you cast it.
I cast it now.
You surge with power, contacting the Seldrine and casting a spell. You sense you are being watched. You successfully locate this object.
Ah.
It is somewhere east of you.
Okay, so it's within 1,000 feet east. Taldred says, okay, well, Roger's still in the city, or at least the key is.
Is the temple within 1,000 feet east?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, easily. Taldred says, if you want, we can leave right now, and I can figure out
Yes.
where he is. Let's
All
go.
right, let's go.
Yep.
Because I've only got 10 minutes, so let's get a move on.
Can I fill my flask with soup?
Nope.
I'm gonna grab your arm and collar you toward the exit if you allow me.
I will.
Brenner will wave to Michael as their lead. Thank you for your service. We might be back later. Seems like you have open rooms, right?
Actually, it's just the cell. Well, yes, we do. Yes.
Come on, you damn fool.
Thanks, Michael.
Brenner, you sense that there might be something more to that sentence he just cut off and ended midway through.
I think Brenner's probably inebriated enough at this point that he would take it at face value. He just assumes that there's a place to stay here.
You are. Oh, go ahead. Please.
Soup and ale. You can sleep anywhere.
Let's not.
You are cutting through East Rose Boulevard next door to the temple, is that right?
Well, so the way I'd like to imagine this working is Taldred's kind of like holding his holy symbol free hanging, and it's slowly pointing in the direction of the object. Would that be good?
Love that abstraction. It leads you directly next door to the temple of the Radiant Heart.
Taldred Taldred goes, what a fucking waste of a spell slot.
You cut through East Rose Boulevard, which we will not make you do. You arrive somewhere extremely familiar. It's dark outside. The temple is lit by torches. There are no guards posted. It's very quiet in here. A stark contrast to the first time you were here, and then even more so when you brought the miners back. Who could forget all the guards in here, the acolytes? The door to this eastern galley is open, and you can see 3 paladins within. They look up at you as you pass by, Brenner, and give you... Go ahead.
Brenner was going to poke his head in. Seeing New Paul, he points to him. It's a good call.
He points back at you, a glimmer of whimsy amongst the darkness of the night. From outside the door, nothing gold. You hear something. You hear a loud bang on the table. And you hear someone yell, "Stop bullshitting me!" You hear the murmurs of a conversation. The door is closed.
Yoros.
Rolled a 16 Constitution save for being drunk to walk over there.
You have a bit of trouble navigating. All of the torches in here seem really bright right now. It just seems everywhere you look, it's like blinding light. The white marble reflects it. You can't stand it. You wish you were somewhere dark. Nothing gold, Kale. The door swings open in your face, and Major Avery walks out. He looks at you immediately. Who the fuck are you?
Smith.
Blacksmith? That's your name? His name is Blacksmith?
Kale.
Sir, it's Kale Merrick, blacksmith we picked up on the road. He's been repairing our gear. Excellent work.
Might be a conscript soon if you're a good blacksmith. Could always use good steel workers. You ever worked with Mithril before, boy?
I haven't the honor. It's exceedingly hard to come across crude mithril. But I've repaired it.
Can't say it was that hard for us. You have a sense that he's carrying something.
Shit.
Yes, well, I actually think I'm due to talk to the lot of you in the morning, so make sure you don't go anywhere too hastily. Understood?
On it, sir.
Thank you, Manip. Always good to know you're a loyal member of the Fist. He looks between your companions. You sense that he knows that you're all that's standing between them and them pursuing their freedom. He walks past the lot of you. He stops next to you for a second, Ada, and goes, and keeps walking.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Ada, it's okay.
He ignores you, Ada.
Okay. He already moved on, so.
Well, that's good news.
I'm pissed. I'm gonna open this door.
You are pissed. You open this door. You see 3 paladins crowded around an empty table. There's a serving plate in the middle with nothing on it. They all look bored, frustrated, maybe hungry.
I'll walk in.
Samantha Ruthenberg looks up at you. Here to save us.
That implies you need saving.
I'd say the city needs saving, wouldn't you? Unless you're happy about this turn of events.
No, I thought you would be.
She narrows her eyes and moves to stand up. Skylar puts his arm out and says, "No, not right now."
I'm not looking for a fight here.
You're always looking for a fight from what I can tell.
I'm not looking for a fight, but I'm not going to turn one down. Now listen, I'm not here as your enemy, so you have no need to throw fists at me.
She scoffs when you say, "Now listen." She says, "Oh, okay, yes, thank you for your service coming in here and demanding that I listen to you so that you can insist that you're not my enemy."
I'm going to inhale sharply and look at somebody else in the room to see what reactions are like.
You look at New Paul Arthraid. He looks embarrassed to be there with Samantha. You look at Skylar. He's drumming on the table like this. You can hear that, right?
Yeah. The fists have taken over this compound, is that right?
Who are you looking at when you say that?
New Paul and Skip. I'm just kind of surveying. I'm ignoring Samantha.
You look between the two of them. Paul runs his hand through his hair. They haven't taken over this place, but they've taken a number of things. If you had anything valuable here, you may wish to see if it's still on the premises. They said that they were making provisions of everything.
Yeah.
I think they're preparing for something in the morning, to tell you the truth.
Well, they paid somebody off here. I'll look around as I say that for reactions.
Roll perception.
27.
Samantha's blue eyes are ice cold. She is staring daggers at you.
Very good. Listen. I just want to make sure there's not 16 horses in this main room when I wake up in the morning.
Skylar says, "I doubt there will be. On the other hand, I wouldn't go out unless you're with the Yolos
Yeah,
whatever.
yours.
If you go out at night, I wouldn't go out without him. You'd be arrested on the spot.
What's happened here in the last few hours? Can you run me through it?
Of course, easily enough. The Fist came in, all a giant mounted host. Their horses are to the north of the city. They took over anything they could. Shops, the merchants in the square, they came through here as well. Anybody who they had a warrant for, they arrested. And I got the impression they were creating the warrants on the spot.
Obviously. They're making the law as they serve it.
I wasn't being sarcastic, though. You should be wary about being out by yourself. They will arrest you, too, and trump up some charges.
Very reasonable. New Paul. We visited the ghost in the swamp.
And what did you find?
I will reach into my bag and pull out the ghost's head.
Ugh. Fuck.
We found the ghost.
I don't think ghosts have... Jesus, put that away. Why do you... Don't bring that in the kitchen.
I'm trying to get a rise out of him. To get a sense if there's surprise that I'm alive.
He retches. Get that... By Helm's eyes, get that out of here.
I'll put it away.
What's wrong with you? Why are you carrying... He looks across the table at Skylar. I knew these people had problems, but... This is truly vile. This is a new low for anybody that we've ever employed. What was Forbes thinking?
Employed implies we're getting paid. As it stands, we're all the same team, a force for morality. I would appreciate in the future if you gave us a lead, you would give us some more information about it. We nearly rode to our deaths.
Samantha, even though you're ignoring her, answers for Paul. See, I told you I told you she just wanted to fight. Don't let her rile you up. She's just in here rattling her saber with no other purpose than sowing discord amongst us.
I don't have a saber. And if you don't recognize that we're all on the same team, then you might as well fight me. You may not like me, but you have nobody left.
Samantha stands up. Say it again.
You may not like me, but
No,
we are
no,
on
no.
the same team. And you have nobody left.
You know, don't be craven. You know what I meant when I said say it again. You're afraid to say it again. You won't fight me.
I think it's a waste if we fight.
And perception, do I hear Ada yelling?
No perception necessary. You hear...
I'm yelling.
Yes, you hear the sounds of a loud argument, and you hear the gentle sound of steel against a sheath.
I will look at our blacksmith friend, and then I will look down the hall and start stumbling towards Ada's voice.
At this point, Brenner has postured himself behind Ada.
Put that goddamn blade away. I'm not looking to fight you.
Fucking right you're not. On the other end of the temple, what are Nothing Gold and Gastmere up to on the wall here? Nothing Gold, are you walking into Walt Forbes' office?
Yeah, I think she would have tried to get Taldred's attention for a second, but if he's absorbed by what's going on with Ada, she'll
Not particularly, he wasn't.
she'll say go find him, go find Mr. Deo.
Oh, okay. Taldred will go about doing that.
Your holy symbol of Salune is pointing you downstairs.
Which way downstairs? The infirmary or the...
To the safe house, to the lodging that you have been provided as well.
Okay, and Taldred will just say, apparently he's downstairs, so mystery solved.
And Tall...
You head it that way, I shall follow. I don't think you should be going by yourself.
See if he can help us, please.
I will stumble up to Brenner. And I will ask, is everything okay?
Oh, yeah. We're just having a little
Ah, the Ada special.
Oh, I wasn't here to hear that.
I will repeat it.
But yeah, then Nothing Gold will step into Walter Forbes's room. After dispelling the alter self, sorry. So she steps in as her dryad self.
Do you? You step in as yourself, Nothing Gold. Walter Forbes instantly recognizes you, of course, and looks at you with a forced grin. Ah, more friendly than my last companion, I suppose.
You seem to be in quite a spot of trouble. What's up?
I think all of us are in a spot of trouble. The Flaming Fist is going to come up with a reason to kill us all very soon. I'm convinced of it.
Executed, yes. They were asking you more questions about the portal?
Yes, they took just about anything valuable we had here in the temple, and they are demanding both of the portal keys. Don't worry, I didn't give you up. But I suspect they will be back with tools to make me talk if I continue this charade. I can only keep this up for so long. We have the benefit of the Flaming Fist is not very well versed in arcane technologies. They're good at stopping spellcasters and casting a few fire spells, but they're not terribly good at understanding the arcane mysteries necessary to teleport across the continent.
Did they ask about me at all?
They did, multiple times.
Did they say in what context?
Yes, they would like to put your head on a pike, and I believe they have many pikes.
Did they take the painting?
Yes, they did. And whatever that was you were storing with it.
How is it that they were able to do this so quickly? And by that I mean, how do we get them to stop? If I just walk out there and kill Major Avery, is all of this going to go away?
That's a question I don't suppose I have an immediate answer to, although one can assume that for a Hydra like the Fist, he looks upward as if he's talking to someone. For a Hydra like the Fist, if you cut off the head, yes, eventually they will be forced to withdraw.
Is he the head here in Arabel?
I suppose so. Him and the other major he keeps at his side. If you haven't seen this already, your quest log was updated earlier today.
I already saw that it says kill Major Avery. I've been thinking about it for the past like an hour.
We have our own reasons to suspect that Major Avery and perhaps even his companion are, in essence, connected to Tierney Fang.
What makes you say that? That is something that I had not considered.
Well, if they're going to perhaps make you talk, I probably should not tell you too much more. However, I will say that if your life is in danger, you should tell him roughly the truth, which is that I've stolen the portal keys from you. They already want to kill me. They cannot possibly want to do that anymore.
You may be surprised. I've heard rumors that the Fist tortures prisoners, so you may wish to be wary, Nothing Gold.
Which is what they're going to do to you if you don't throw somebody in the pit.
That's exactly right. I fear that they will put a corkscrew through my hand or worse.
I overheard something about something big being planned tomorrow. Do you have any idea?
What few paladins we have left here, we put our heads together, and we have a funny feeling that there will be public executions sometime tomorrow, maybe at daybreak or dusk, two things that seem to have great significance to the Fist. I don't know the specifics, but rest assured, I have a funny feeling that our time here is coming to a close. Now, nothing gold. Enough of that. You asked me for several things. Let us put the problems of tomorrow to tomorrow. If you're still here in the morning, and I hope you will be, I have a number of proposals for you. Ways that you can grow in power. Remember, all of this is simply chaff. We must find the wheat. We must defeat Tyranny Fang. The Flaming Fist is merely a distraction, right? And who knows? Some entire countries have lived under the Fist for thousands of years and not suffered for it. Perhaps we are overthinking the cruelty of these two majors. I wonder sometimes if our paranoia is getting the better of us.
You almost died this morning.
That's right. So did you.
That's right.
Well, I suppose we have something in common.
And the High Priestess Maris
Is gone. Curiously. I heard the Major complaining about that. When he says complaining, he looks up as if somebody can hear him say that. She seems to have slipped through their net. I have a funny feeling I know where she went, but you're right. Perhaps, is it better if we keep knowledge from each other, just in case either of us is put to the tensor's blade, to the flincer's blade?
I don't intend to die except in the effort to kill Tyranny Fang.
The funny thing about death, Miss Gold, is that most of us do not intend it when it comes. And all I have for you, truly, is speculation.
I'm curious. South, right?
He nods as if you're reading his mind.
Across a body of water?
No, I don't think so. I think she's far closer than that. If you mean the Sea of Stars, I don't think she got that far.
How do you have couriers?
I did. I no longer have much except 3 very dedicated paladins.
You also don't seem to be very popular in the city, and I realize that I'm saying this very blasé, but this did catch me by quite surprise, and I'm actually very concerned about this.
Do you know who is never popular in a city? The taxman. Do you know who is less popular than the taxman? The people who the taxes are paid to. That makes
Who
sense.
do the people like here? By that I mean, who do the nobility support?
The nobility? Joaquin, perhaps? They certainly don't support us, if that's what you're asking.
No, but surely there's somebody in charge in civil government.
There have been a number of tightly contested elections for the past decade or so. The spell plague did not hit Arabel lightly, and there have been a variety of solutions to these global problems, none of which are very popular. We are living through a period of managed decline, I'm afraid.
I am asking because if we are to... She looks up at the ceiling to see what exactly he's looking at.
There's nothing there. There's nothing at that point in the ceiling. Let's check in with Gasmir and Taldrin. So I believe we're discussing venturing downstairs. No Taldred left alone.
I mean, if you want us to move us off, I was thinking we could wait for everyone else to conclude their stuff. But if you want us to run off on our own, that's fine too.
It's up to you. Would you let's view it this way? Would you pause waiting for the party, or would you, while everyone else is wrapped up in their own dialogues, would you venture forward? Up to you.
Seems more efficient to just venture forward.
As you wish. One moment. You find yourself at stairs leading downward.
And Roger's just sitting there as we come down.
He's not looking at you. He seems to sense you're there, but he could not care less. He's drinking from a small steel flask and watching the fire.
Taldred says, Roger, didn't think you cared for the temple.
Ah, Taldred Talton, the one who got away. Never.
Would you stop calling me that?
Never too late, my friend.
Hmm.
What's that? What's
I
that
agree.
one with you? Do you think she'd be any good in combat? Highly doubtful.
Oh, golly. Would
Might
you like
be-
a demonstration, Roger?
Might be good at getting reservations to a restaurant, but unfortunately we're not in Waterdeep.
Taldred is, like, shaking.
I'd love to show you what I'm all about, but I was rather hoping to do it in a different setting. You see, Mr. Dale, I believe we have mutual goals.
Ah, but we do. We both wish to depose Tyranny Fang. Is that all?
So,
I've known this for weeks. Do you have any new information for me?
where are your friends? I thought you had 2 companions.
I have more than 2, but frankly, that's none of your fucking business, Alyssa.
Please, call me Gastmere.
I'll call you whatever I please, thank you very much, unless you plan on calling me Mr. Dale, which I know you won't.
I've already called you Mr. Dale. I am polite, you see.
Okay. Do you 2 miscreants want anything? Did you really come down here simply to insult me? If so,
No, but it's a good start.
maybe
now.
maybe practice your insults upstairs so you can do a better job of it.
Let's cut to the chase then. There may be some concerns that your head is one of the ones that might be on the chopping block, as might be ours, considering our new friends, which I'm sure you're familiar with by now.
Ah, you think that the fist will come for my head? Unlikely. Yours, maybe. Mine, doubtful. What else?
Really? Aren't you some manner of famous criminal?
Criminal is a matter of perspective. I've
Perspective seems quite limited, so I suspect that they are going to see it that way.
I'll take my chances.
I wouldn't do that, Roger.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Why?
because they're after the portal key that you have.
I know. They're after the portal key that you have too. And yet you're showing your face. Walking around the city.
I have a face worth showing off, Roger.
His mustache twitches a bit.
Finally.
So it seems to be your opinion that you do not need any assistance, any allies. Is that what you're saying?
I always need competent allies, so if you see any, please let me know.
I'm afraid they might be getting thrown off the walls at this point.
He raises an eyebrow.
So you're left with us.
All of my allies are well accounted for.
Do you intend to depart soon, Mr. Dale?
He closes his eyes, seeming to think about a mental calendar. I presume you mean, when do I intend to use the portal? Is that right, Gastmere?
Correct.
Did you see that? I was... whatever.
I appreciate it.
I don't wish to tell you the exact day, but perhaps within a couple weeks at the latest.
Well, that is useful to know, because I do believe we should be working somewhat together on the matter.
That was what Smithfield thought too, that we would work best together. Have you seen him? Oh, he's a pile of ashes. Not so sure that that school of thought is being advanced very much these days. You may be useful tools. Is that what you mean?
Well,
Sort of like how if you need to open a tin opener is the best way in, and afterwards you put it in your pack and forget about it.
I'm sure we can both on our own ends think of the other as the tool, if that makes you happy, Mr. Dale. That doesn't change the matter that a two-pronged attack on Tierney's Keep is better than going alone.
I'm not going to attack the keep. Me and my team are going to infiltrate the keep. I believe you're going to attack the keep and presumably run into thousands of Zentish soldiers. Perhaps you'll be a useful distraction. That's my hope.
Yes, obviously.
If only you had stocked your team with infiltrators, people who could hide in the shadows. Instead, you have, what? Some spellcaster who likes to hear herself talk? I can hear her down the stairs.
Yes, a spellcaster that can reduce people to ashes within a matter of seconds.
And curious that you're concerned about the Flaming Fist. You have one amongst your ranks.
He keeps us out of trouble.
All groups have their flaws.
Damn.
If you say so.
Mr. Dale, do you have any concerns about the integrity of the portal, considering the fists are here?
He raises an eyebrow. Ah, finally, we get to the proposal part of this. Do I have concerns about the integrity of the portal? I don't think the Flaming Fist know exactly what is just under their fingertips. If they were smart enough to destroy the portal, maybe. If they knew what it really was, perhaps. They left their calling card here. Ignorance.
It rather seemed that they were looking for it, however.
They were. They want my key. They want his key as well. He points to Taldred. Were you planning on giving your key to them? I'm sure you weren't.
Of course not. You're not planning on giving yours, are you?
Correct. Sounds like we're exactly where we started. But you have something to propose, don't you? Or are you just the muscle for this one?
Oh, can't I be a bit of both?
He
I do
smiled.
have many talents. You see, I don't really like the idea of leaving the fists in charge for that long, because we still need time to prepare, do we not?
I would say so. Yes, I knew we were getting to a proposal. I knew it, Gastmere. So, you wish my help in assassinating the Flaming Fist Majors, I assume? Out of the question. it would make far more sense to make our peace with them. They will quickly devolve into what the Fist always do. Before you know it, they'll be worried about taxes and tariffs. They'll be too caught up in paperwork and which guard should be posted where to worry about anything with the portals.
I don't think that's the case this time, Roger.
What makes you say that?
We have reason to believe that the Zentarum are feeding certain agents in the Fist information because they want to lock down this portal.
For once, you know something that I don't.
Taldred opens his mouth and then slams it shut.
No, please. Go ahead. You know something? You think that the Zentarum have agents inside of the Fist, the most zealot-filled organization on Faerun? I find that somewhat hard to believe.
The Zentarum are pretty zealous themselves. It's not hard to imagine.
Do you not find it strange that they arrived so quickly, as if they were waiting?
I do find that strange. However, they've always wanted to seize control of Arabel. It has a strategic position here in Cormyr. I have a feeling they want nothing more than the trade routes. That's why they want the portal, by the way.
Yes, but do they really have wanted it so badly that they would have been camped out 4 hours away all this time for what, years? No, I think they arrived in a very timely manner. Someone tipped them off, which means someone set up the explosion.
Who do you think that is?
It makes sense for it to be the Zentarum.
He slides over on the couch. If you think there's an inside man, it means nothing without a name.
We think it's one of the majors.
He shrugs at you. Okay.
I believe Miss Rutherford? Ruthenberg. Miss Ruthenberg. My character would remember that. Miss Ruthenberg, I believe, has been dealing in information as well.
Samantha. Interesting.
Yes.
You have proof of this?
Well, Roger, you're the information and infiltration specialist, aren't you? Maybe you could do some legwork. We've shared. How about you share?
He leans back on the couch. I thought this proposal would be for something mutually beneficial. You just came down here to ask me to do your work for you. You think that the Zentarum hatched a plot. You have some vague idea as to who might be responsible, and now you want me to quote-unquote do the legwork.
Mr. Dale, we only wish for you to do your work. You wish to be the new spy master of the Zentarum.
Yes, and I find it extremely hard to believe that one of the Paladins of Helm found their way at the crux of the Zentarum, the Fist, and the Paladins of Helm. Wouldn't that be quite the plot? And what would be the end of it? What's the motivation? Every plot has a motive. Still figuring it out? Well, come to me when you have. What else? And we'll come back to you guys. Back on the first floor of the Temple of the Radiant Heart, arguing in the galley, we have Ada, Brenner, and Euros. Across from New Paul Arthrade, Skip, Skylar, and Samantha.
You walked away, but Yoris approached Brenner asking how the situation was, and Brenner had effectively relayed to him, "Oh, yeah, they're just having a spat. Everything's fine."
And I replied, "Oh, just the Ada usual."
Ada, I believe you were employing your usual. You are staring, perhaps you are, she's certainly staring at you. Samantha is staring daggers at you. Her hand is still on the hilt of her sword. She seems to be looking for an excuse to start a fight, as you are wont to do.
You're muted.
There's no need to jerk that sword at me. I'm not looking for a fight with you.
Then who are you looking for a fight with? The Fist? The Black Network? Someone
Yes.
someone worthy, I certainly hope.
Yes, that's exactly right. You mistake me for an enemy. Just because I'm not your friend does not make me your enemy.
She jams the hilt of her sword back into the scabbard. Okay. You're not my enemy, Ada Worthware. What now?
Tell me more about this area. Tell me more about the politics you must know. They came here, they conquered the town in 6 hours. Who was on the inside? Who signed the papers? Who was paid off?
Roll perception.
17.
Okay. Looking for specifics, you may need to be more specific yourself. How did they get here so fast? They had a team of horses. Why are they here? That's what they do. The fist shows up suddenly, and then it's very hard to get them out once they're in.
Yes. I know the basics of Toril. I understand what the flaming fists are, and I understand the nature of four-legged creatures carrying soldiers. I was hoping for a little more aid, as presumably we're on the same fucking team.
She looks to her right, to Skylar. Why is she always yelling? So we're on the same team. You have the same eyes we do, right?
You've been here for years. I arrived 3 days ago.
I can see that the fist is here. I can see they got here quickly. I can see that they want to take over the town. So?
Do you just not care?
I care more than you ever will.
Then what are you holding back for?
You've been here, as you said, for 3 days. Why do you have such a horse in this race?
I have personal morals. I cannot sit aside and see the last bastion of free people in this realm be trampled by a bunch of brutes with swords looking for coin. I'm sorry. If you can't respect my cause here, then I'm talking to the wrong fucking people.
The three of them look between each other for a moment. Paul walks over to you. He puts a hand on your shoulder. He says, I think we should have a conversation, just you and I.
I'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I'll say, okay.
In the morning, in the garden, he looks between Samantha and Skylar, says, I just want to set him straight. We'll talk in the morning. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll rush out of the room.
You hear New Paul slump into the chair, happy to be rid of the loud half-elf.
As you turn around, you do find Brenner kind of uncomfortably close behind you.
Yeah, I know. I will try and make my way past you. My
No bug.
exit cannot be disturbed.
As you make past Brenner, you see I'm leaning on him.
Should check in with the other.
Yeah.
Probably not a bad idea.
Perhaps you collide with Nothing Gold, who is having a conversation with Walter Forbes.
Is Nothing Gold's costume down?
Yes.
Yes, she looks like a dryad right now. And she's in the middle of saying to Walter Forbes.
You were gazing upward, right? We were.
Yeah.
That's my note. You were looking upward to see what he was looking at, and he is looking at nothing. But
Yeah, she was about to suggest something ridiculous, and I forgot what it was.
He just admiring the spackling.
You were talking about killing the Major.
That ceiling's quite nice.
She looks over at Yoro, says Ada says that.
you're a Snalian. Brenner Roswick, still alive, still healthy and hale.
That is
How nice to see you. Although a bit
Forbes, still sarcastic as always.
a bit deep in your cups.
A little bit.
And more than me.
Nothing gold.
Worthwhere.
Not in this building, but I could render you invisible.
Okay.
I will whisper. So can I.
What the?
I could put a tarp over you.
Okay, before we get any further into this, Yoros, realize that I am the last person who gets to ask you anything, but I need something from you. Either from you directly or from somebody who looks like you. They may execute people at the break of dawn, and I need to know exactly who they're planning on executing then.
You're just to make sure I'm clear. You're posing this to Walter. You were asking him who.
Sorry, to Yoros. She turned to look at Yoros and said, "I need something from you," and I realized that you're drunk, and also we have somewhat of a camaraderie, but
In a moment of clarity, Yoros will just look at you and simply state, execution plans are generally kept with the commanders of a contingent. Those of my rank and lower are generally not told.
so only the major knows.
It is a safe presumption to make. Maybe those below him who report directly to him would know because they had to organize it.
Do you know where the major is?
Considering he's been in town for a day, no, I don't know where he would pick as a office or a homely spot, I suppose.
Would you go find that out?
I can try and breach the subject, but I think asking about a particular individual that is known to be associated with you.
Don't ask about the individual. I just need to know where the major is staying, and we have an offer of invisibility. I will go and see if the paperwork is there.
You could probably find where the major is very easily.
Okay.
We had a mission that was completed, and we need to report to him. That should be simple enough.
Okay.
And this I am doing for you as a friend.
Yes, and I am accepting this help from you as a friend. And we will talk in the morning about executing the man that you report to.
Okay.
Shall we go off?
Yeah. You can see as you've let that finally loose from the lips, as Brenner's ticking on the uptick of what exactly is being planned. Yeah.
Wait. Nothing gold.
Ada Worthware.
I appreciate finding your friend, but are you suggesting cutting the head off the dragon?
I feel more strongly that he should die than the drow that you blasted into ash, so yes. If it is an option, it's on the table.
Perhaps you take
Let's take this downstairs.
discussion away from me.
Perhaps we should all decide on this violent course of affairs together.
Brenner's made us wait.
Before you
Towards the
walk
staircase.
off, they are going to torture Forbes to death, just so you know.
I'm on. No. I just have a. As Brenner is pointing towards the staircase downstairs. Got a point to raise.
I'm not arguing with you, although I want to. I'm just saying we should all talk.
14 Constitution roll to try and make it to the stairs.
You are a bit of a mess, Yoros. You stumble around and you sense Walt Forbes looking at you with a bit of concern. But you're able to make it down the stairs with your 14.
On my way out, I'm going to look at Walter Forbes and ask him if he has anywhere to stay that's safe. And don't tell me the Temple of the Radiant Heart.
Ada, the Temple of the Radiant Heart. I don't see any reason why you'd be safer anywhere other than here. I'm confident that if you try to leave the city, they will do something bad to you. And I am confident that anywhere else you would stay, unless it's secretive, would be far worse than here. But I suppose you could, what's the parlance? Crash somewhere, if you chose to not stay here.
Not me, you.
He shakes his head. Ada, if I'm going to die, wouldn't it be exciting to die here? Where I've done...
Captain goes down with the ship.
Where I've done... Exactly. It's where I've done my life's work. If I see Smithfield, I'll tell him hello for you.
Walter, if you want out of the city, we can get you out.
No. This is my city. How could I possibly leave? Of all the suggestions, that's the one I would embrace the least. If I die, I die here. Ada, you should understand this more than most. I'm nearly 60. I've made my peace with death.
Maybe I haven't made my peace with it. I'll turn around.
One more thing. Not you, the Dryad. Don't go outside like that. They're just going to kill you.
I know. The information that you're going to give me tomorrow is they're more about the companions that accompanied Tyranny Fang during the provenance of the spell plague.
Among other things, yes. I'm not sure how you knew that, but I knew I had good ideas when we brought you on board. You were paying so much attention during the onboarding process, I am completely confident that you have figured most of this out.
Yeah, half the documentation I gave you is fake.
Seems concerning. You shouldn't lie on paperwork. I say this as someone who does their entire life via paperwork.
And yet, if I go out like myself, I will surely die, so sometimes you do need to lie on paperwork.
He tilts his head.
Rest well.
Suppose we'll see each other in the morning.
Try not to dream.
He grins, as he is wont to do.
Downstairs we go.
Heading downstairs, one moment. You arrive in the midst of a bit of what seems to be a tense moment. Roger Dale is in the midst of a conversation with Taldred and Gasmere. The atmosphere is tense. Look who it is.
Safecracker Robert.
B team, assemble.
T team.
It's more like Y team, you know what I'm saying?
He snorts. Always the most confidence-building thing when you're putting a team together to do an impossible task. A lack of clarity around the leadership.
There's no
Why
lack
are you
of
so
clarity.
sarcastic, Roger?
That's far from sarcasm. That's the most realistic thing I've ever said to you. Really? The two of you can't decide who's in charge?
We already picked who was in charge.
Oh yeah? On 3, say his name. 1, 2, 3.
Taldred.
Yep, sounds good. Just working in perfect concordance.
Did we talk about our problem that we may need your help with?
We talked about a problem that we may have desired help with, but I'm fully confident that we can accomplish it without his help. What I wish to know is, Mr. Dale, do you intend to hamper us in any way?
Quite
during this process. I'm not speaking of the keep yet.
Quite simply, no. You're useful to me. I wouldn't hamper you. I only hope that you don't hamper me.
Why would we do that?
Let's think back to 10 seconds ago when we saw firsthand the lack of leadership and direction. If a rudderless ship can drift into just about anything, Miss Gastmere.
I can't help but notice you're here alone, so we can't execute the same tests with your compatriots.
I'm not alone.
Oh?
He has 6 people around him.
He puts his legs up on the coffee table. You all lack in subtlety.
I've got tarps.
Oh, what an insult. Alright, is there anything useful here, or are we just gonna trade barbs all night?
Nope, just Roger.
Look, Roger. Why do you not just cooperate with us? I haven't reported you yet.
Is there something... Oh, was that a threat?
No, it's just a simple statement.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh,
simply proposing why not work with us.
Sorry, this is how Yoros thinks to make friends.
well, let's cooperate then, my new companions. What can I do for you?
Aldred, what would you like him to help us with?
Can you or can you not see if there's a link between the Major and the Zentarum?
Simple, really.
That's...
For a man of your skills.
We already have a way to do that.
You want me to piece together a criminal conspiracy.
We want you to confirm suspicions, sir.
How so?
Is that not your expertise?
It is your expertise we are trying to rely on, sir.
Mr. Dale, if we told you that we have a source of information that is currently unavailable, would you help us acquire it?
Is it... Let me guess. Is it the Priestess of Cyric?
No. It is someone who is held by the Fist, who might have more information on their reasons for coming here.
I'm listening.
We do not have their location. But I'm sure there's locks involved, and that seems to be your expertise, as well as infiltration, is it not?
It's always nice to receive compliments. Yes, I can handle that if you need a lock picked. Of course, that is mundane for me, but it sounds like you need a bit more than that.
But a man that specializes in lockpicking is also good in subterfuge.
No, they're actually different skill sets. Your companion, the diviner that you were with earlier.
Tisiphone, yes?
I have a picture of the person that we're looking for. Would she be able to locate them?
He raises an eyebrow. I don't see the significance of the picture.
I don't know how her magic works. Is she able to divine where people are?
Yes, and far more than that. Who do you need, when, and why? And how does this benefit our newfound arrangement? What does this have to do with the Black Network?
Look at it this way. Just making sure you don't have another knife at your back. You're the future head of the Zentarum, right?
Your flattery was a bit too transparent there, but okay.
I mean,
I'll
that's your goal.
I'll play your game. Who do you need? When? Why? Make this simple for me.
Aldred?
It's not. Wait, no. Taldra doesn't know. It's NG who knows who they're looking for.
Gasme is looking at nothing gold.
I think we all are at this point.
Yeah, I think Nothing Gold is thinking, and
You not
No, but why would I not just deal with Tisiphone directly?
She's not very, how do you say, talkative. We have a system. And obviously, the second you ask her for something, she's going to want to confer with me. So we can cut out a step. You can just tell me directly.
Aren't you
Alright.
the secondary step?
I'm sorry, say again?
Aren't you the secondary step in that case?
That's what you want to talk about? The order of operations in which we talk? Maybe you do just want to exchange barbs. It's hard to
No,
tell.
sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what information you need in order for Tisiphone to locate her. Do you need a name?
He puts his head in his hand. Again, just make this simple for me. Who do you need? When do you need them by? And maybe a vague idea as to why. Let's start with who. Who do you said you had a pretty little picture? Who's the picture of? Can we start there? Who are we talking about?
She holds up the picture, and says, this is Aram.
Aram. Okay.
Yes. And she is close with Tierney Fang.
How close?
Close.
A lover?
Yeah, they fucked.
Okay. Easy enough. And why do you need... What relevance does this have to your mission or mine?
You asked for proof of this connection between the Zentarum and the Fists.
So,
This is the source that might be able to provide such information.
fair enough. And you think she's here in the city?
She's being held by the Fists. We suspect either in the prison.
Exactly. You
Or
see where
upwards.
opening locks comes in, yes?
Yes. I can't help but think, though, the Fists will know that you're going into their prison. That's outside of the realm of subterfuge. That would be a siege.
He is right. The Fists do value their prisoners.
You could do it, but it would have to be a killing blow. Once you open that up, you can't close it. You understand me?
Yes, we are negotiating among ourselves what to do along those lines, but I believe that she will be killed tomorrow. And so this needs to be done either preferably overnight, but she may either be gone by daybreak or dusk tomorrow.
And it sounds like you already have a good idea where she is, just looking for confirmation, or would it actually help you to know which part of the prison she's being kept in? Is that your goal?
Confirmation and any further information you can give us.
And you said her name is Aram, is that correct?
Yeah, she'll write it out.
May I? He extends his hand.
And she'll hand over the... It's a very delicate portrait. Like, there's a lot of care put into rendering this person's features. And her full name is written at the bottom. It almost looks like a wanted poster at this point.
If you would, you can put it in a public chat, please. How you have the text of her name rendered. He takes it from you and folds it very carefully and caringly and says, "Very well. I'll talk to my mage. We'll see what Tisiphone can do with this."
Do your services come with a cost, Mr. Dale?
I was under the impression that this would further both of our missions, and if this woman is in fact that close to Tierney, perhaps we will both learn something. That would be enough for me, the information, assuming that any of this is real or correct.
Very well. Merely confirming.
He nods, takes a sip from his flask, and looks back to the fire. Very well. What else? He strokes his mustache with his free hand.
That's all. The information and the skill needed to spring her. That's what we needed from you.
And if you were trying to break her out of jail, and you think she may be executed, this is something that we would be doing together tomorrow. Is that correct?
That's correct. We will work on getting more information about the fist tonight.
Very well. I suppose I'll be seeing you tomorrow then.
Seems that way. Before dawn, I'd assume, if dawn was one of the times that there might be executions.
I always get up early, as should you. He stands up, opens the south door, looking over his shoulder to make sure you're not following him, and closes it behind him with an audible click. The fire gently... Go ahead, sorry.
As in the staircase leading back upstairs, correct?
No. There's a door on the south side of this room that you've seen and never been through.
Wait, where does that go?
Never noticed it.
Fucking rooms, obviously.
Taldred,
Something hanging out.
Ada.
I could use your help.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
I have 2 requests of you.
I'm listening.
1, I'll produce the eye that we got in the swamp. I've been studying this object. I think you can put it into my dead socket
Oh.
with a restoration spell, and it would give me sight beyond sight.
You're sure of this?
Well, not 100% certain, but experimentation is required, and I could always wear an eye patch over this dead socket anyway. It's not doing me any good.
You don't have an eye. What's the worst it can do?
If you're willing, sure, let's give this a go, I guess.
Taldred Talton, roll religion.
God damn it.
They're doing that. Just a quick OC question. What time is it, like, in-game? Is it late?
It is getting late, Castmere. You know that it's getting pretty far into the evening, even if you can't put an exact finger on what time it is. You know that when you were getting into town, it was past dusk, and it has been quite the long day. You are dragging. Also, did you eat anything, Castmere?
She had the charcuterie board.
That's right.
Brenner rolled a 20 on that religion.
Why was Brenner rolling religion?
There...
It was just Taldred.
Okay.
And what did Taldred roll?
3.
A 3.
A 3. Okay, noted.
Ugh.
Second thing I would like to ask. I need spells. I feel underprepared for what we're going through. Sure, I can incinerate some people, but it's going to take more than that to topple tyranny. I think the Prime Material... I think he has some scrolls in the back, and I could use somebody of your expertise.
My expertise.
You're a wonderful negotiator.
Ah. Well, yes, I can help with that.
Yes, I feel like I can contact the Demon Weave for more power. I can cast spells more powerful than I've casted before, but I just don't know them. I need to scribe something into my book.
Ada,
Yoris,
if I may interrupt for a second.
you already have.
If I may do it again.
Continue.
Thank you. How does transcribing a scroll work? Does the mage just tell you how the spell works and you write it down?
No, that won't work. The magic is emblazoned into the paper through a magical process known as scribing. Once the words are read a single time, it burns off the page, like flint under fire.
Does it have to be of the demon
No.
variety?
No, I'm just accessing that. I hope not. Do you want to come with us, Euros? I mean, we were told that we shouldn't walk alone at night.
I would be interested.
You don't cast through a spellbook, though. This may not apply to you.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm always willing to learn something.
I can teach you about the scribing process, but I assure you, it's one way and permanent.
You can do that. Maybe I can help you out in turn.
Absolutely. Yes. Listen, we got armor, a weapon today. We got plenty of martial objects. I'm merely looking for ways to ply my craft more efficiently. I think I've proven that I'm useful, but my capabilities are limited. I don't think tyranny's going to fall to a simple fireball.
To be fair, from what I understand, it was a nice fireball.
He wasn't there.
Who is past that? Yes, very good. I think this would be beneficial for all of us. I'm merely asking for help.
Well, regardless, if you're going to be trekking out in the night, I should be going with you.
Agreed.
I do not want anything to happen, and you getting more paper is beneficial to the group, yes?
I hope so.
Well, then it's a done deal.
Speaking of help, Sprenner looks directly at nothing. Go. You spoke to me before of tattoo.
Yes, actually. It's a more artistic form of inscribing scrolls, but I am able to inscribe low-level magic on someone.
I'm not willing to let go of this. As Brenner visibly shakes the collar, like the metallic lion's mane on his neck. But he'll produce the full plate from the parties wherever the fuck we put it. Can you do that?
She looks puzzled, looking over the cursed armor, right, that Grint had?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm not following. What are you...
I think he's asking you to blacksmith the armor onto his armor.
Maybe I misunderstand what you're capable of. I'm not real well versed on that.
No, it's just you were asking about tattoos, so I thought that goes on
that's-
your skin.
Yeah. I thought that's how you did it.
But you just handed me armor. I feel drunk.
What can you do?
Well, in addition to the tattoos, it is true that I can inscribe warding into armor as well. I can make certain kinds of spell casting less efficient against you, as well as strengthen the fortitude of your armor. But I don't know that I can do it to this, as there's already so much magic on it.
I don't mean to interrupt. Can you simplify this a little more?
So part of it is I'm trying to do fantasy speak. Would it help if I across the table told you?
I kind of like it being in fantasy speak, to be terribly fair. Brenner,
Okay.
will
Simplified fantasy speak.
Okay, simplified fantasy speak. Have you heard of resistance?
Yeah.
Magical resistance? I can do that.
I'll be more transparent. This armor used to be real nice. It's not anymore. But it's It's who I am. It's what I am. And we're going to go dive in. Real fast, real hard. I don't want to fall over as soon as we get there. And if you're able to fix this, as he beats his chest, that probably would be good. I don't want
I
to die on
see.
my own sword.
Okay, so this, and she rattles Grint's armor, is a red herring. You're just saying you want the armor that you're wearing now to be more efficient. All right.
Yes.
Do you want it stronger or do you want resistance? As I understand it, the Zentarum are quite skilled in both poison and, well, I guess if they're cutting deals with liches, necrotic magic.
Probably.
So, however, we are going against the fists, and they do love fire. So perhaps it would be more efficient to ward you against that for now, and I can change out the type and the design later.
I think at this point, I trust you enough to leave it to your discretion.
Okay. What do you imagine when you think of this armor?
You see Brenner's face kind of flush red at this point. His helmet is up. More in a social situation. Everything I stand for.
But what does that look like, Brenner Oswick? What color? What shape?
I'm a lion.
That I can do something with. Alright, I will have it to you by the morning. My workshop Forbes agreed to let me take over the garden. So I can do it there. I suppose this is the point that I should tell you all that I was arranging with Forbes to kill Major Avery.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes, I was asking Mr. Dale if he'd like to kill Major Avery.
I think that Roger Dale and his team will be more useful getting my compatriot out while we deal with the flames.
That is the conclusion we've reached, yes.
The fists. She looks over at Yoros to see how he's taking this line of conversation.
He doesn't hear it.
So you think Avery is the one in league with the Zentarum?
It's either his or his
There are
subordinate.
Yes, so there are 2 points of power at the head at the fist currently. It is Avery and then some lieutenant of his whose name I do not know yet. And he has our mithril and my painting.
Oh, yeah, that's actually probably good. Say we don't kill him for whatever reason. Always point him that way.
Not to be overly Yoros about this, but we should have some actual evidence that he's in the pocket of the Zentarum before we murder a man.
Tend to agree.
I agree.
Did the
That is
drow
why
have proof?
we need the friend.
The
Listen.
drow are not associated with the fists.
I have no love for the fists, and I would gladly fight Major Avery myself if necessary. But
What
let's
more do you
not-
need him to do? How many more
Did you
people
not
do you need
attack
him
the
to
drow
kill?
first?
Yes, I did.
If I may interrupt,
Yes, please.
You already have.
if I may continue, I respect the Major. I have worked with him for years. Please understand, he is my higher up. But your words, I am still dreading on them that you said about the corruption of the fists. I want to figure this out just as much as you do.
I
That is why
respect
we
that.
need
So
nothing God's friend.
That it,
we have
there's
many objectives.
there's no time.
I understand there's no time. I am very anxious about this lack of time.
I know, and Forbes' insistence that he may be tortured to death, it's not just him being cute.
Forbes is not going to be tortured to death while I'm in this room, and also, the same reason why I was upset that those bodies were hanging off the wall is the exact reason why I don't want to kill this man without cause. I think we need cause. I have the same suspicions as you. Find your evidence.
Were those people not innocent?
We don't know.
I assume that the Fist was doing something vile. I just need a little bit more.
Well,
I am
it's-
on your team, but I am not willing to jump to flagrant murder on a suspicion.
I understand. I just.
Look, I have killed for far less. On the...
I haven't.
But you did when I jumped in, and that meant a lot to me.
I have your back, and I will have your back should you force my hand. I just want some evidence.
I don't want to keep forcing your hand, Ada Worthware.
I don't want that either.
Look,
Listen,
if I'm
I support you.
revealing-
Find your source. They'll spill the beans. This should be a paper trail that we should be able to track. I am totally with you. I just want to go through a little due process first. I'll feel so guilty if we kill an innocent man.
Okay.
I don't want to be the Fist. Sorry,
Okay.
Euros, but not really.
Here's the point of contention, I feel. I think that you are all expecting something in an orderly process where we break out my friend, the informant, first, and we get information, and then we go deal with Major Avery. But I have a feeling that the second we get into the prison to get her, they are going to immediately react. And unless we silence him, it's just not going to go well for us.
We don't even know if she's in that prison.
Where are you getting these assumptions?
That may happen. And if our hand is forced, our hand is forced. We don't have any choice in the heat of battle. But we're
Alright.
not in the heat of battle right now, and we do have a choice.
I think it
Mr.
comes
Dale
down
is
to
supposed to confirm the location.
yes.
Taldred just figured out where Roger was. Do you have something on you of your friend?
No, of course not.
Why?
You carry knickknacks from all your friends?
Absolutely.
What do you carry from me?
What have you given me?
That's not what I asked.
We've known each
Look.
other for 3 days. I consider you a friend, but you've given nothing to me. What are you trying to prove? This
I
is on
brought
you.
you back from the brink of death, you
Okay.
shit.
Then scry on my rebirth?
Here's the thing. Aram and I were supposed to be working independently. The fact that we're meeting up now is because things have gone
Well, let me-
fucking sideways.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, alright, let me ask you this. You've been communicating through letters, correct?
I didn't say that.
How have you been communicating? If it's a letter or something else, that is a personal effect written by her, correct?
She never wrote back. Maris was supposed to give me. Oh, wait, don't I have all these letters? Anyway, Maris was supposed to give me something back from her, but if she had been imprisoned by the Fist, I don't think she had time yet to respond.
But you've had something in the past, correct?
I'll produce the letter. The dead drop letter, which is currently in my inventory.
What is that?
I found
What
that
is
in the dirt.
this? You
When I was-
where did you find this?
Across the table, which direction did Brenner come into the city? Because I assume it'd just be on the road that way.
North.
North. I came in north. I found it as a dead drop. I trusted Ada to read it. I think it's Samantha. Unless your friend.
Shit. No, that makes so much sense.
Does your
No, I
friend
mean,
go
I
by-
mean,
He points directly at you. Does your friend go by Frost?
she'll look at the handwriting. Would Nothing Gold recognize it?
You do not recognize it. However, this being created for a dead drop, the handwriting is deliberately vague. If you're right-handed, you may write with your left hand for something like this.
I'm just saying. You smart people are overthinking this.
I doubt it. I've got smart people.
I'd like to imagine Euros is actually drinking something else and Talger's like, where is he getting these from?
Okay, no, this is what we can do with this letter. If you grabbed it, then they weren't able to respond to it, which means we will be able to.
I'm working with you. Let me know what I can do to help you, Nothing Gold.
Okay.
I'm on your side.
I know.
I just can't compromise myself that much. You don't have to tell me everything. You do have to point me in a direction, though.
If you can find the approximate location with Ada with this letter, I can send the message.
Can't you just grab that thing? He points to the dead drop.
I cannot until the morning.
Okay. Should we do that?
Been a long day for
Taldred
everybody.
thinks about it. I don't know if that would actually reveal anything, nor do I, the player, know if that would reveal anything. 1 second. Because I think I need either a body part, a piece of their clothing, or a picture of them. If this is like, I've never met the person or heard about them.
We have a picture.
Right, and that's why I asked her to draw it.
I would say, not to override the rule book or anything like that, but I would say this is a personal affect, which is in the same realm as what you just described. I would say that this would be something that is certainly attached to a person.
Right.
Okay,
But it's a unique handwriting that is very attached to them.
I think
Right.
it'll be valuable to scry to see who wrote this, but that may not immediately get us closer to freeing my friend.
It could just be useful information. And again, this only gives me a greater chance of successfully scrying, not a guaranteed scry. And I only get 1 shot at it per day.
It's better than 0, which is where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I believe the plan earlier was to render me invisible so that I could go rifle through Major Avery's paperwork.
That is further along the plan. We need to get to step 1 and figure out where your friend is. And yes, getting to Avery's paperwork would help you get to your friend, but maybe we can circumvent that.
How?
Scrying the paper.
We can't do that until tomorrow, and I'm doing this tonight.
She's not wrong. She should, if we have
I
the
agree.
opportunity.
Okay. I'm with
And
you.
you'll have 1 hour from when I cast the spell. Nothing Gold.
Okay.
Maybe that'll find your proof, Ada.
Yes. And listen, I'm not asking for a lot here. Just asking for something to hang my hat on.
I'm just gonna pose this as a person of military. Routing the captain often makes the troops scatter, but there's a lot of captains to fill his place.
In the case with the fists, everybody is set on their goal. Even when a captain falls, everybody is so committed to the goal.
I wouldn't mind the fists if I thought they weren't in the pocket of the Zentarum.
Look, I agree with you, and I want to figure this out, but 1 step at a time.
Agreed. So, Nothing Gold. I have a boon for you. There is a little bit of a hiccup with this spell. If you encounter an agent of darkness, they will be able to see through it. I would not dare use this in Sentinel Keep.
I would be very wary of some of the fist mages around as well.
Me too.
Exactly, counts as an agent of darkness.
What exactly counts
Agent
as
is
an
a
agent?
broad term.
Somebody
Yes,
who speaks to
thank
Shar
you.
on a daily basis. That's what I
The-
would say.
It doesn't even have to be that. They may not even speak to Shard.
I have my suspicions, but don't treat this as an invisibility cloak.
I will be stealthy.
Yes. Continue acting as if this boon wasn't on you.
I think, out of character, can we say it's been about an hour?
Since
Since I think we ate at the... Okay, does this count as downtime?
yes, I would say this is a short rest as you are
Okay.
here inside of yes.
I hate doing it, but I can disguise myself as an animal while you render me invisible, and that may help.
The entire It's just... Is that your thing? Why do you hate that?
You've never done it.
No! I'm me.
It feels like... Have you ever taken a green stick and cracked it over your knee? That's sort of how it is for me.
You like a glow stick?
A what?
There are technically like torch stones, like an alchemical light in the realm of D&D.
Yeah, she's teasing Yoros.
Nothing gold. If you have to cast a spell, the invisibility will drop.
Understood.
She is correct. Just try not. Basically, invisibility is good for moving around and nothing more.
So I'm not super big on this kind of stuff, and I assumed someone would have already thought about this, but aren't there like wards all over the fucking place?
Yeah, I expect there
Yes.
will be.
They're not very skilled, actually, in arcane matters.
I expect this is not going to be an easy mission, and Nothing Gold could always message Euros.
Well, she says, I cannot message him first, but he can message me.
I'm sure you guys can set it up.
If you get caught, you are likely going to be executed at dawn.
That's
like-
not going to happen.
I'll likely be thrown into the prison with my friend, and in fact, that would make it easier. But I promise I will endeavor to return to you all.
I think you're being too optimistic if you get thrown into prison.
Why? Aren't you coming to get me?
It's complicated.
It's not that complicated. We
I
are coming
can't-
to get you.
I can't just release a prisoner if that's what you're implying.
I can. I can release all the prisoners at once. You're not going to be executed tomorrow.
Yes, we won't let you get executed.
It's that simple.
That's simple.
But
Right.
if you cannot get caught,
That would be better.
That's the
that
plan.
would make it far easier.
At this point, I don't think we're going to be attacking them in the jail. That doesn't make
The
a lot of sense.
option that they execute you on the spot without any of the rituals.
No. The fists are highly structured and ordered in their justice. They won't outright execute you.
They want information from her. I don't think
Absolutely.
they'll immediately execute her.
They will extract. I hate to say it like this.
Oh no, it sounds
They-
fun, honestly.
They will extract value from you first.
They're going to torture her.
Extract value.
They're going to
She looks
torture her.
at she looks at Gastmere for a reason and sort of smiles and says, "Well, found my way out of that once before."
So, we have a plan. I would like to go to the store, if possible, before the night ends, so I have the night to study with. Does
I just
anybody
think-
else have any subterfuge they would like to discuss?
We need to be very clear and concise with our schedule tonight.
Let's get this eye thing knocked out of the way first.
Yeah.
Do I have to cast Greater Restoration or Lesser Restoration for this?
Greater.
Let me
Just-
read this.
Just has Restoration on it.
Yeah, lesser should be fine, but let me just read the spell text really fast.
And assuming you're good with your mission, should I just leave this here, or...
Will you leave it in the garden, please? Have you
okay.
have you
I
been
would
there?
To interject, we shouldn't leave anything laying around. The mithril's already been taken.
Fair
That's
point.
true.
Just wake me if you come back.
Okay.
I'm sure yours will otherwise.
One last thing. The Paladins. I spoke to the Paladins. It was not pleasant. I suspect Samantha is paid off.
That's what I've been saying all along.
Yeah.
Was that discussion with Roger not trying to verify that?
Well, I spoke with Samantha herself, and I looked into her eyes, and I did not see something pleasant. That being said, I'm meeting with New Paul in the morning in the garden alone.
Ada to
I'll clear out.
Well, I would just like somebody to have my back in case I need some help.
I gotta pick up my armor either way.
Okay.
Paul's a good guy, but I don't trust him entirely either. It could be a front. He doesn't like Samantha, but what's an easier way to sow discord between us?
Agreed. I'll just talk to him.
Do you have any idea
I'll be right back.
this little spat between them when Samantha complains about being abandoned?
I'll certainly ask about it. It's at the tip of my tongue. They seem to be on opposite sides of the forces of Helm. And earlier today, Samantha was happy that the Fists were here, and now she's upset.
Ada.
And she didn't seem to give a shit whether or not they took the town when we just talked.
She's upset now.
Yeah,
What a
big surprise.
curious shift in her mood.
Yes,
I
I
may-
agree.
If I may interrupt.
You may.
Thank you. Does Helm... I don't know anything about these gods. Please forgive me. Does Helm have different sects or splits among it?
They may. Helm is unflappable. Helm is singular in vision. Helm does not compromise.
If he does not compromise, then could people be torn on that?
It seems extremely unlikely to me, but I haven't sworn an oath to him, and I never would.
Are you suggesting this might be religiously motivated?
I'm suggesting this may not... It is very likely not religiously motivated, and likely money or personally motivated.
Well, I just want to throw this out there. Every other problem we've encountered has been religious.
I think
Well-
this is national.
No, I think Yoros has a point. When Samantha was stabbing me to death earlier, she was channeling magic through her sword.
But she.
She was?
Yes, a smite, I believe they call it.
Was-
Why are you just telling us this?
Two things. I just need to cut in for a second. One, lesser restoration is okay. Two, I need to wrap soon. So if it's okay, could we cut here? I think I have a
Yes.
good idea as to your missions for the remainder of the night here. So we can pick up right where we left off. Is that okay?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
great.
Thank you so much. This was an excellent session, by the way.
Thanks for running late.
See you guys next week.
Let me write notes.
Everyone's good for next week, yeah?
Should be.
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Okay. See you next week. Good night.